Welcome, everybody. We are in the last week of the Inkosi Super Cup. We're nearing the end of it, getting closer and closer to that promotion relegation match. But first, we have to take tonight's action into account. We have to look at Nodwin Gaming and Pix Hunter. So, Shaz, let's talk a little bit about what we expect, what the players have their outlooks for, and what we should be looking at. So, OG versus Pixel Hunters. Who do you think? Where do you think? What are you
It's a tough one. I honestly think that maybe Omnius might take this. There have been a team together like longer than this new Pixel Hunters roster. We don't have a lot of data on them, but they do have quite an experienced player, Hakim. I mean, he's been playing in the scene for years. I mean, he started before I even started playing, so that's probably at least maybe 15 years. Probably more 20 if I'm not mistaken. So, they do have Hakim, that experienced veteran in there, and they do have Panda. Panda's also been playing for a while, but he's been obviously in the scene on and off, but he is a decent player. He can frag, and that's what they have going for them. But I mean, in the space of Omnius, they have been a team for longer, and they're very synchronized. I must say they're actually playing very well as a team, and it's going to be a tough one.
And ultimately, I think it's going to come down to what map they're going to be playing. So we'll have to look at the veto and see
Definitely
where the teams are planning to go. What are they, planning to take it? But firstly, let's just talk a little bit about the schedule. So, I mean, looking at it, Train is going to be the decider for tonight, which is going to be fun. Yeah. The semi-final decider, basically. And then we're going to be going into that final. So for those of you watching, please stick around. There's a lot more CS action coming through. But, I mean, Train as a BO1...
Yeah.
Talking about it...
It's a toughie. It's a toughie. And also...
map.
Yeah, no, definitely is. And also, as a new team, you don't really focus a map like Train. You kind of focus those easier maps like Inferno or a Mirage or a Dust. You don't really focus such a strategic map where, Omnius have had more time as a team. So maybe they've put a lot more time into Train. So it's going to be a tough one, I think, for Pixel Hunters.
CT side, T side, where are you thinking you need to be aiming for?
So T-side, kind of what the meta is you kind of send, two towards that Ivy area, and you get that control just to make the T's kind of cautious of, a potential player being Ivy, and then you fall out and you maybe go towards middle, try to show some presence, and you have one lurking towards B. It's a very hard map, Train. If you don't have set executes and you don't have that synergy, and, if people aren't on the same page, it becomes a very, very difficult map. And, if you start on that CT and you have a very strong CT, you can basically run away with the game.
Yeah, I mean, then you just start packing up those rounds. You get into T-side, you can't carry on that momentum, and you really just... You basically just figure out, okay, well, is the CT side, playing that 1-4 setup? Are they playing that 3-2? But if they are playing that 1-4, then that B bomb side becomes such a point. I mean, you can basically just bum rush it, put a lot of pressure on it, get the bomb down, and especially if you already got that CT side advantage with the rounds, I mean, then it just becomes impossible for your opponents to catch up to you, especially if their CT side isn't as strong. I mean, we know for a second. And I mean, looking at the veto... It's interesting to me that the maps that were dropped. I mean, I'm happy to see that Vertigo was dropped. I mean, yes, that's a good decision,
but I mean, if you look at Pixel, but if you look at Pixel Hunter's bans, look what maps they've banned. They banned Vertigo, very strategic map. They banned Dust 2. I mean, no one likes Dust 2. Let's be honest. And then they banned Nuke. And unfortunately, they left that Nuke behind. So they banned a lot of the strategic maps. Besides obviously Dust 2. So you can see like the team hasn't really put a lot of time into these quite strategic maps.
Yeah, I mean, statistically looking at OG, we have them playing, a lot of Mirage specifically, and then secondly, they play a lot of Trains. So that's what we have on stats at least. And whereas with Pixel Hunters, as you mentioned, we don't have a lot of data on them. Mostly what they play is Inferno. So
that's what I'm saying.
Well, is it Inferno? Is it not Inferno? Basically, what we can really think about for Pixel Hunters. But Train is an interesting one. I think for Train, especially with all the ladder mechanics, the way that rotations work there, and the way that you can really structure your CT side, I think it really opts blocks for a lot of swing momentum on either side. I mean, you can take some pretty nutty individuals and they can clutch it out on trade because it's such a confusing map, and
Definitely
you've got
is.
so much mobility thanks to the ladders. You've got so much verticality, and I mean the rotations and the switch arounds that you can do immediately, that becomes important, obviously. So we talked a little bit about CT side, but on the T side, I mean, the main important thing for me is just to have that
Util.
overall utility,
Util and
especially
control.
utility.
This map is a
Yes.
lot of presence as a T. You want to show a lot of presence, and you kind of want to have that util, you know, that perfect util. Yeah, you got to kind of have executes on that T side as well. You need to be able to push and pull between the outside bomb site and the inside bomb site. So I'm really hoping Pixel Hunters have somewhat of a game plan, but I think Omnius might take this as just
Okay,
because
so
they've
you're
been a
leaning
team long
towards
enough.
Omnis.
Yeah, for
Okay,
longer.
Omnis
I just think so.
experience, the data that we
Experience,
have
just
on
team
it.
synergy. Yeah, Pixel Hunter being a very new team. I think it's like a couple of weeks, and they just haven't had the time to put in that strat book.
So we're going to see what's going on. Obviously, Omnius starting off on the CT side, so let's see if their defense can hold up against Pixel Hunters. Obviously, they're looking to take this quite quickly. Some utility in hand. They're setting up for this execution, which looks like it should be an A. I mean, we've got the bomb heading towards Ivy, so I'd gather that there might be a little bit of a wrap with the players going through. But there we go. Absorb spotting a player out to immediately getting dinked down to 15 HP. So he's going to have to fall back. He's going to try and play this a little bit more passive. But Pixel Hunters, they're taking the trigger. They're taking the activation to try and get on the side so far. Vulcan, though, he's going absolutely mental. Takes down 2, and now his teammates are just helping him clean up. Ultimately, all down to Hack'em in a 1-on-4. His position is known. He's doing well to take down Sledge, but how long can he last here? He's got bullets tagging him up to 16 HP, and the one tap is just going to take him out of the picture. So already a good start there for Omnius. I mean, ultimately, off of the back of some insane pistol shots there from Vulcan. But
yeah, I mean,
if they can
that
continue,
was crazy. I mean, that wasn't a bad round of Pixel Hunters. You know, I like that strat where they sent 3 towards Ivy, and then one was lurking Pop. So Pop could have, you know, kind of get the rotations off from the CT and catch them off guard. But just fucking getting that 3K, just shutting that Ivy rush down completely. So yeah, it's very well played there by OG that round.
Yeah, not much really that Pixel Hunters could have said about that. This time they've got some upgrade pistols heading towards that B Synapse though. The sneaky
One
smoke
way.
is going to slot out so many players. He's going to get that call right back to his teammates. So you can see Devs here rotating, flanking around to get some kills for his own. I mean, you know, spread the love, spread the kills, spread the money. So ultimately all down to Smokesh. He's going to meet the Tech 9 of Devs, and it's immediately a shutdown for Omnius.
Yep.
So far what I'm seeing is like the rotations, which are absolutely beautiful. I
Yeah.
mean, they're so quick to having their teammates back.
Yeah, and I was just going to mention something. You can see the players of the side of Pixel Hunters not realizing that smoke. I mean, that smoke, if you know Train right now, you know that's a one way. You know that it's fishy. That smoke that Sledge used. It's a very common one way that is used, and you can just see the lack of experience on the side of Pixel Hunters. You know, not at least just spraying through that smoke a little bit due to that one way.
Yeah, you should be expecting that. You should be waiting for it, but nevertheless, it's fine. Pixel Hunters, they've got the money now. They're going to be able to buy up. So going into this round, it's vital for them to get something on the board. Otherwise, they're going to be relegated to another save. They're going to be relegated to giving Omnius a couple more rounds. But Sledge, he's already starting it off. He's taken Smokesh completely out of the picture, so he can upgrade to an AK there if he's not careful. Oh my goodness, no, he gets a second. So not only the upgrade to the AK, but now Pixel Hunters, they're looking at a 3v5 so far. They still haven't gotten any trades. They still haven't even gotten the sights. So Bomb heading towards that B tunnels there, B bathrooms, and now they're just looking a little confused to me. I mean, do we go main? Do we go B? What would be the situation here, Shaz?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I would say maybe try save the guns and maybe buy up next round. Just do a bit of a quasi battle with these 2 AKs. You know, unfortunately, Train kind of need that firepower. But Hack'em,
Well,
I mean, Panda.
Panda's going to say no to that. He's going to take 2 for himself, but ultimately his teammates going down, leaving Hack'em alone and afraid because around every corner there's a player from OG ready to take him out of the picture. So ultimately some damage dealt there, 3 players going down. But I mean, when you're going with a full stack of AKs against a quasi-buy, up against the CTs. I mean, that's not where you want to go. You want to be getting
Yeah.
wins. You want to be getting rounds, not just a couple of
Exactly.
kills.
And now they got the AWP set up on that CT. But what I like about OG, you can kind of see they've done their homework. You know, they have that setup, that double pop setup, and then the double Ivy. You can see they've done their homework on what they want to do CT side. And yeah,
What they want to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they know where they want to take it at the
Pixel
moment.
Hunters looking a little bit lost, Des.
Yeah, I'd say pretty much that's exactly the case. I mean, they lose 2 players there. They've already lost Affliction, and they're not in a position to really respond to this. I mean, obviously now Omnius, thanks to the previous round when they've now been able to fully upgrade. They've got a couple of AKs in their camp. They've got the AWP in the hands of Vulcan, and now they're just playing it out. I mean, on paper, there should definitely be another round for Omnius. Hopefully, though, for the side of Pixel Hunters, they will be able to do something with these hand cannons, connect those shots. Definitely want one of those. One Deegs and Smokesh is going to be the first to do exactly that. So Sledge, he's out. Smokesh is going to be able to get that AK, continue the rain, but I mean, it's all down to a 3v, make that a 2v4. And HP is dwindling here for Pixel Hunters. Ultimately, Wabbit has to do it all 1v4. Try and potentially get a gun. It's not going to be the case.
Happen.
So great round for Omnius. Obviously, paper,
Yep.
you know, it's a pistol round. You don't really expect any huge upsets. But I mean, going through this now, this is a buy-up for Pixel Hunters. They need this round.
Yeah, it's really tough. Is it when I'm watching Pixel Hunters right now? It just kind of looks like they're playing a casual game of train, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna go Ivy, I'm gonna go main, I'm gonna go pop. There's no strategy as to what are they doing. You know, it just kind of all looks very lost, and everyone's just trying to go somewhere to get a pick. And okay, nice pick there by Affliction. I'll eat my words again. But
you say it. I mean, get a pick, and then Affliction's like, it's okay. I got the.
But I feel like that's
exactly that.
I feel like that's what they're relying on too much. They're relying on someone to like get a pick. There's no strategy of okay, guys, you know, like entries throw their smokes out onto A main, bait that util from the CT so that, you know, the CTs don't have util towards this A bomb site. There's none of that. It's just trying to just always go for a pick and try get a, you know, an opening. But there's no strategy as to what are they doing right now, you know, trying to bait util out from the CTs.
Yeah, it's seeming a little bit too casual for me. Potentially, you know, train is not where they want to be going, but at least Smokesh is going to be there to take out Sledge here. So they've got 2 kills, they've got openings, but now they need to convert that into bomb sites. And Synapse, I mean, he's still got all the utility in the wall to stop that from happening. You see Panda burning to a crisp, and he's got so much time to rotate around and get the kills wherever else. I mean, someone stop this man, peek together, there we go, hack him, he takes him out. They still haven't gotten a sight though. They still don't have the utility now to really contest this. There's already rotations coming through for Omnius, but now they have to hightail it right back to A. But Omnius already for it absorbs. They're dropping that molly, just wasting their time, doing a good bit of damage, but he's not getting the frags just yet. So this is all down to Vulcan now. I mean, both players are exceptionally low, so he can basically just pistol them. Not if he has that information though, but Hackham is there to finish it off. So finally, Pixel Hunters, I mean, honestly, by the skin of their teeth, they get around.
I mean, that was a good call to immediately go back, but I mean, do you see what I'm saying about not baiting out the util? You know, Synapse doing a fantastic job on that B side, throwing the molly down and then throwing the nade, and they were so low going onto that B bomb side. And yeah, like you said, bought so much time for his team, but I think the CT is over rotated just a little bit too much. Omnius need to, you know, be careful of that, especially on a map like Train. You know, so okay, Vulcan gets the first opening pick.
Vulcan, he gets his revenge. He gets a kill there onto Hackham, opens it up, and once again, Pixel Hunters, they're not in a position to trade. I mean, they were just trying to get into position there to really think about executions. So already they've lost that numbers advantage game quite quickly into the beginning of the round, and ultimately now, once again, it's this question of, okay, well, what is your what's your backup plan? Where do you go? How do you respond to this now? Well, you've got utility, you've got the executions, you've got the guns, but you shouldn't be losing fights like this. So Panda, he's going down. Wabbit's position is known. You can see Vulcan just waiting for his teammate to get the frag. It really is just coming down to, I don't think Pixel Hunters have a backup. They don't have enough.
Strategy-wise, you can just see that they haven't worked on this map as a team, you know. And unfortunately, Train is one of those maps you cannot just pog it out. You can't just play it as if it's just a normal game. Unfortunately, you need to have a strategic plan on Train. It's such a hard map, you know, firstly, and when you don't have any sort of game plan on it, it just makes your life so much harder. And you know, with Omnia starting on the city side, it gives them such a advantage. You know, city side is where it's at on train, and you can obviously see that they're a little bit more polished than Pixel Hunters right now.
I mean, they're showing the rounds are definitely showing this. I mean, this should be the
Yep.
fifth round for Omnius. Unfortunately, Smokesh, he was able to get that frag, but he's so secluded from the
definitely
bomb.
gonna
He's not
save
gonna
this
have a
up,
chance to get
is-
it back. Definitely. I mean, keep it
Yeah.
to the next round, especially looking at the economy
Yeah.
here from Pixel Hunters. They need anything extra that they can really get. And I mean, it's still
Yeah.
not going to be the best. I mean, you're looking at Wabbit and Panda, they're looking at 3K. You've got one or two players that are just over that 3K marker with Hack'em on 6. But
Yeah.
if they do buy up into this, it's not going to be the best of buys. I mean, I can see some Galils, I can see some. Well, I'm seeing some
We got a
upgraded pistols,
Tech-9.
a bit
Yeah.
of an all-Pura buy here, but I mean, really, what can they do? They need to sort out their economy, especially if they want to
Definitely.
continue this long on fight here with Omnius. Though they have been doing the damage, so Omnius also a bit of in danger of that light reset there. They're close to it, but they're not quite there yet. Smokesh, though, trying to get the opening frag, and it's just not happening. At least they finally get the trade there off the sledge, so that's a bit of positioning. That's a bit of real estate into Pop. Blindly, though, Vulcan, he's still going strong with his AWP. He's hunting for more. He gets the third. He's just going absolutely crazy.
Nope.
Give him a break, guys. Let him get that 4K. Come on, but it's fine. They're going to take it instead. So Omnius, yeah, they've got a 5-round gap so far. They're starting to build up their economy a little bit there. They didn't really lose much there. They lost one player ultimately, so just a little bit of an impact in the economy. Whereas for Pixel Hunters, I mean, this is it. Otherwise, that's the 7th for Omnius. That's potentially even the 8th.
Yeah, I would love to see Pixel Hunters just flashing their teammates in. I feel like they're just standing around waiting for, you know, Omnius to peek into their hands. But, you know, Omnius, they've done their homework. They flash peeking their teammates in. So they're not going to, you know, blindly peek. So, yeah, it's like Pixel Hunters are just waiting for Omnius to make a mistake. But, you know, when you've been a team for quite a while, you're not going to make those silly mistakes. You know, you're going to flash your teammates in to peek those angles, Ivy or Pop or Main. So, yeah, I just feel like Pixel Hunters just standing around trying to get a pick.
It's not going to be working out for them just yet. he's ready for this.
Vulcan with the
mean,
AWP is dangerous. Just saying.
He is. But I mean, so far, Omnius have been doing the exact same thing. I mean, Vulcan's still going strong. He's got his second so far just for this round. But ultimately, you know, his teammates are there to back him up. If there's an aggression, if there's a push, they're there for the trades. They're there to have their backs. And I mean, look at this. Ooh, Sledge does go down. And now it's a Devs and Vulcan, just absolute barrage. Ultimately, once again, that AWP just doing all the work. He's finished. I mean, that was his 4K. The previous round, it was his 3K.
But
that's
the thing.
All the room and space for this.
Yeah, but I mean, Pixel Hunters is doing that to Vulcan. They're allowing him to get those early picks. You can just see, like, there's no flashes trying to flash him off his angles, you know, and they're just peeking one by one by one. It feels so solo by Pixel Hunters right now, and unfortunately, it's not work against a team like this that have done their homework and they're flashing their players in and they're playing as a team.
So going into this once again, Pixel Hunters relegated to pistols, the hand cannons in hand, the Deagle's ready to do some damage, but it is a tall order. It will be great if they can do something because that will just set them up a little bit better in terms of their economy, but so far it's not happening. It's not the case. OG just going ham. They've got their players just aiming it out, fragging it out. Ultimately, there's at least a kill there on the side of Affliction with the hand cannon, so it's a little something, but it's not going to be enough to win them the round. So at the moment, it just seems that OG are prepared for this. I mean, it might just come down to map. I mean, they definitely have players here that have the experience, they have the time in the game. It's just it's a question of synergy.
Yeah, definitely is. Like I said, a map like this, you need to have that utility. You need to have somewhat, you know, a sense of executes, and you can just see OG just looking so much more polished. You know, that outside, they just have their crossfires. They're covering one another. They have their flashes, and yeah, the score is telling us everything we need to know right now. Unfortunately.
It's unfortunate for Pixel Hunters. They haven't really been finding any sort of luck towards that ace side. As you can see, Vulcan once again getting the the early entry, getting the early numbers advantage, and Pixel Hunters then finally returning the favor as Hackam and Panda, they take a couple of pieces away from the OG game board, but they still have to deal with Synapse and Absorbs. It's a 2-on-2 situation so far. This is the best looking scenario so far that they've had, but it's still not done just yet. Synapse here in that flank position from Pop. Will they be expecting it? Not sure, because they're still trying to focus on who could be on site. And instead, Synapse, he's going to take a free kill there onto Affliction. A bit of back and forth. Ultimately, Hackam down to the 1v1. Taps it away and is not going to get the frag. So, Omnius there, it was close. I mean,
yeah, it was very close. I think
they finally got the opening, but
I think Omnius got a little bit caught with their pants down. There were so many smokes towards that A bomb site that they didn't realize that the Pixel Hunter boys pushed through all those smokes, and they got caught off guard and got pushed on that bomb train and down green. So yeah, very. I mean, it was good. I think that was Pixel Hunter's chance to a round, but yeah, it came down to that 1v1 and yeah, very, very difficult is.
Now Synapse with the AWP, I mean double AWP setup here from Omnius, trying to play around that sneaky smoke once again, but this time Pixel Hunters, they're ready for it, so he gets tagged down to 15, has to fall back, get his teammates in position to help him out this time. Pixel Hunters looking towards that B, but their position's already known. I mean, surely Omnius, Synapse just saw 2 or 3 players, you know, potentially even the bomb.
Yep.
Surely there's a bit of rotation, there's a bit of hesitation. Do we still go B? I mean, they've spotted us now. We're taking our sweet time, setting up our utility.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be a hit.
We'll see. Pixel Hunters, they're investing fully into this B-bomb site. They have to make this work. Sledge on top of the roof. Ooh, on top of the roof. He doesn't find the shot just yet.
Taken up.
That's a great opening. That's great cover there from Panda to get them on the B-bomb site, ready to try and take this round. But so far, Devs and Synapse, they're just getting frags out of nowhere. Pixel Hunters not able to respond once again. Bomb trying to go down. It eventually does. But look at this Omnius. They're just fragging it out. And then Hackam, they have to hold on to this 1v3 now, as Hackam's the only one left alive. And I mean, it's just over peaking there. Honestly,
yeah,
the site.
Definitely. I mean,
you had control.
I see what Pixel Hunters was doing there. You know, they smoke all the lanes quite fast, so they have that mobility to push forward. But I feel like they just pushed a little bit too much. You know, oh man, it's so tough. I just feel like, man, you can just see the inexperience from some of these players. You know, that was the perfect strat. You know, they had the control. They had that, you know, those fast smokes that helped them get into that B bomb site. But like you said, it's just been way too aggressive and losing the numbers that round. It's very tough, man. It's very hard to watch.
Well, potentially Pixel Hunters might just be looking for that CT side comeback, but then at least get the next 4 rounds, you know, make it a little bit more palatable when you switch over, because it's definitely going to be a hard climb if they don't get a couple more rounds on the board. And looking at this, if they don't get this round, that's going to be the reset. That's going to be them down the leg once again. Hackam, though, he's starting it off. He's holding that aggression here for Omnius, and Vulcan, he's trying to continue with it. Pushing up on Ivy. Sledge instead is going to get a frag there onto Affliction. That once again takes away the numbers advantage and now just puts it on equal footing. So far, Pixel Hunters still trying to get into this A site, but they haven't just quite yet really gotten an easy entranceway. I mean, all 4 players of Omnius, they're sitting here quite close to the A site. You've obviously got Synapse watching that B ramp, but he's ready for the rotation. And Omnius, they're taking some control back. Sledge with a beautiful pop flash assisted there by Devs. That ultimately lands him 2 frags. That ultimately puts Pixel Hunters in a 2v4. Hackam at least is going to open it up, but can he do more? Because he has to do it all. 1v3. Devs and Sledge, I mean, they're just fragging it out right now. So that's great work there from Omnius. And you can see I mean, if we're talking about aggression, too much aggression here from Pixel Hunters, we can say the exact same from Omnius. But I mean, they're landing the frag so that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but their aggression is followed up by Pop Flash, where Pixel Hunters' aggression is they're just running in. You know, we saw that. You know, Sledge wants to take that peek into Pop. He gets Pop Flashed, he gets the double kill. You know, there's always a flash where on the side of Pixel Hunters, they're just try peeking and it's not going to work.
We'll see if they can switch it around. Unfortunately, they're going to be really good to Deagles once again. I feel like that's all that I've been saying for Pixel Hunters. I mean, they get the buy around, they drop it down, and then it's only
tough life is. It's a tough
I mean,
life.
especially going against these rifles and this
Yeah.
control here from Omnius. I mean, look at that sledge. He's just opened up a main, right? But not only that, he has the bomb in control. They know exactly where bomb is planted, was dropped and was heading towards. So all they need to do now is hold on to this. But Hakam there with the Deagle, he's going to get an opening frag onto Absorbs. Vulcan in a bit of trouble is going to get taken out of the picture. So that's ultimately a 4v3. And Pixel Hunters, they have an opportunity now to upgrade to some rifles, but they still don't have bomb control, so they have to rotate back around. Time being wasted. As soon as they get any sort of entryway, it doesn't matter. They don't have the advantage, they don't have the bomb, and they might not have the round. As I say that, though, it immediately turns around to a 2v2 situation. Sledge on 7 HP and Synapse with the AWP, ultimately hunting for those frags. Panda just barely getting past him, but he's going to get spotted out with no armor. There's no hope of dealing with those pistols. Wabbit now, he still has to recover the bomb. 1v2. I mean, Synapse should be here posting for his teammates.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter though. Sledge is going to hit that heady, and
It's a nice little off
ultimately,
angle is.
Pixel Hunters, I mean, we're on round 14. You've got another possibility of getting another 2 rounds extra. So that takes you a total to 12 to 3, right?
Yeah.
You switch over to T side, and now you have to claw back at that many rounds.
Yeah, it's a toughie. You know, yes, this is a CT-sided map, but you know, if Pixel Hunters don't get any more rounds on the T side, they have to win pretty much pistol and the rest, and it's just making their lives so much harder.
Indeed it is. At least this time they will be able to buy up those hand cannons, did the work. They got the money. Smokesh is also getting the opening frag there onto Synapse. So that's a B side player down and out. But you can see they're still falling back, thinking about where they want to go. And ultimately, that's just going to give Omnius a little bit more time to adjust to what they could be doing. So once again, that pop flash trying to get that early control. I mean, as Pixel Hunters push, you know, Omnius, they push back. They get control back. And at the moment now, Pixel Hunters, they're losing the real estate that they've just fought for. They're losing opportunities. Vulcan, though, he's going to grab some of his own. Good spray there from Devs, ultimately only finishing off 1, but it still puts it down to a 3v2 situation. It still makes it in favor of Omnius. Vulcan, his position is known here. He should be getting taken out, but that is if he doesn't hit the shots first. Pixel Hunters, Affliction, and Hakam, they have to do it all for their teammates. They have to do it. Otherwise, I mean, there's no really a possibility here of getting more frags, getting more rounds. Affliction does manage to get the frag, but Sledge on the flank is just going to finish off everything.
Yeah, but it's just, you can just see, right, where Omnius as a team, they're just more polished. You know, they lose Synapse right early, but then they get control. They push into A main, they grab that control. You know, they go like, you know, aggressive towards pop, and they get the pop pick. They just always have a game plan. You know, if someone goes down, what happens? What do? We shift up. We try to get control somewhere else. You know, where Pixel if someone dies, they just stand there. They just don't know what they're doing as a team.
It might just be the map, it might be something else, but for now, Pixel Hunters, they definitely need to change it up. They need to chip up, otherwise this might be it for them. Semi-final, this is their last chance really in Inkosi to do something, to get some points on the board, and so for Omni just seems to be running away from it. Good bit of fragging on either side, but ultimately Pixel Hunters, they're down the numbers, they're down with the HP, and they're just getting taken out bit by bit. Affliction has to do it all, and just unfortunately not in a position to do so. So, I mean, that's quite a start for Omnius, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, they were just running with it.
Yeah, unfortunately, as I did call it, you know, new team, unfortunately. Map like Train, you know, you have no game plan. Unfortunately, we're playing against a team that has been together longer, and, you know, they grind. They do put in the work, and unfortunately, your POG type of CS is not going to work. On a map like Train, is not going to work. It's never going to work. It could work on a map like Dust, but not on Train. Unfortunately.
We did say Train is a very strategic map, and it's often not something that you'll see in a BL1, because it can swing either way, but especially if you're going against a team that's already got their strats and setups down to the T, it doesn't really matter. Omnius now taking some aggression here towards the A side, putting a lot of pressure there in the Pixel Hunters camp. Frags are ultimately going both ways, still down to a 4v4, but that bomb is planted for Omnius now. They just need to fall back, they need to hold on to it, whereas for Pixel Hunters, they have to get this pistol round if they want an opportunity to really claw back at these rounds, to get back into the slip. So he's holding the angles, making sure that he's just getting all the frags now. Smokesh He's getting tagged down from every corner. He does take 2 down with him, so this makes it a little bit more possible for Hakim. Yep. He's got the defuse kit, has to find the 2 lost players. Synapse is low with 15 HP. Sledge is getting lower and lower. Can Hakim do it? He only has to get 1 more frag, but time is starting to run out, and it doesn't matter. Omnius, and specifically
match
Sledge,
points.
I mean, they secure their 15th.
Yeah, I love that strat. I love that pistol strat, by the way. We smoke off that bomb train and towards connector, and you send 3 down pop and 2 out A main, and it's such a good pistol strat. It works most of the time, and yeah, Omnia definitely doing their homework, is.
So for Big Hunters, this is their last ditch effort. They have to get every single round going forward if they want to stay in this, and they only have a couple of deagles and SMGs to do exactly that. Omnius, they're stacked with the SMGs, but Hakim with the deagle, as I say that, they have to do everything with the pistols. They make it work.
That was just the bait, is.
It was just the bait. They're already on the B sites. Planting bombs, setting up for the win. We'll see if Pixel Hunters can rotate around, but Absorbs, he's just keeping everyone in check right now. He's completely
the snake! The snake!
They don't have an opportunity to get out just yet because it's an absolute perfect crossfire here from Omnius. They're not giving Pixel Hunters a chance to get onto the site even. At least Hakim there, he's going to be able to get that deep shot in, but he has to do it all. 1v3, time is running out. I don't see this happening. I mean, you can frag out at this stage, but time is already not on their side. Oh, he has
he's got a kit.
He's not even on site. He's not even near the bomb. So, Omnius, my goodness gracious, could you have done it any quicker?
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
It was a good performance, but yeah, maybe just the veto not going Pixel Hunter's way. Whoever did the veto shouldn't have kept that training, especially, if you're a new team. It's a tough one. Tough loss there. 16-1, never nice.
Yeah, I don't really see the middle in getting trained in a BO1 unless train is really just your bread and butter as a team, and you've done your work, and it's the map where you feel most comfortable. Then yeah, definitely throw it in. But it just looks like there was a bit of a lack of preparation this time around.
You can definitely see it is by the scoreline, by the rounds that we witnessed. You could just see OG more polished, just knew what to do in situations, and Pixel is just looking a little bit confused and lost, to be honest. Yep.
Well, lost indeed. Other way, that's the semi-final through. Omnius Gaming, they have managed to get themselves a spot in the final for the last week of Inkosi. But I mean, speaking about the last week in Inkosi, let's look at the leaderboard to just remind ourselves about how things have been going so far and where we're at. I mean, Astres, has been the name that I've been saying the most. I mean, I've been seeing them the most week after week after week. They've been here getting up those points, and unfortunately for the rest of the teams, they don't really have an opportunity too much now to catch up to that. So best part at the moment that they can go for is that second place, which is obviously royalty. So if they can get above that 15 point marker, then they can get themselves a spot in that relegation promotion match. But it's definitely just come down to commitment to coming back week after week after week and getting the points.
Yeah. This week they decided to take a break. There is. I don't see them this week. They were like, what? I think we've grinded hard enough, boys. This week we're chilling. We're big chilling.
I mean, do you really think that they needed to come back? I think they've secured their spot. I think they're well in favor of getting that spot. For those of you watching, just to let you know, we will be having a bit of an extended break, unfortunately, as the other semi-finals still playing. Omnius, they just they ran that out pretty quickly.
Finished it in style.
They finished it in style and in time. So we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer to see where we're going with that. But I honestly think, I mean, if that's the way that they're playing train and that BO1, can you imagine the kind of momentum that they're going to take into that final for today? So I mean, they're here.
They're definitely going to be hyped. They're going to take that momentum forward with them, definitely.
Well, I mean, if you win a semi-final 16-1, I can imagine you can have all the hype in the world.
Yeah, you're feeling good. You're feeling good. You're feeling pumped.
You're feeling good to take it.
Yeah, definitely.
So they're obviously going to play the winner of the Royalty versus D4 matchup there. So, I mean, do you think it's going to be a Royalty versus Omnius or D4 versus Omnius?
I think it's definitely going to be a Royalty this time now that I see that they have their whole lineup. They have their 5 players. And the score currently 10-5 to Royalty. So, definitely going to be an Omnius Royalty showdown. And I think that's going to be a really, really good game. Really, really good game.
I think that's going to be an absolute interesting one because, I mean, Royalty, they've been doing some crazy things. Omnius, as we just saw, have been doing some even crazier things. Who will win it out? We'll have to wait and see. For those of you watching, please stay with us. The grand final is going to be absolutely massive. So stay with us while we go to this bit of a longer break. Welcome back, everybody. It's Inkosi Super Cup, and it's the last week of it, to be specific. So, Shaz, we've just witnessed Omnius Gaming having an absolute crack of a game on Train. I mean, they won that 16-1, so they're ready for the final, which is, of course, going to be up against Royalty, which we've seen a little bit about them previously. I mean, last time we saw them, they had to play 4v5, unfortunately, and they didn't really make it into that final. But this time, they're back with a vengeance.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. Blood pressure time.
I feel like it wouldn't be an Inkosi. It wouldn't be an Inkosi without your alarm.
Yeah, sorry. It's alarm to remind me to take my blood pressure tablets. Anyway, yes, yes. Royalty did play last week with only 4 players, and you know, it wasn't the Royalty we know. You know, Royalty are a really strong team, and they have, you know, done really well in other events. And it was very sad to see them not go through because of, you know, only playing with 4 players. But yeah, like you said, OG coming off that 16-1 win. I mean, you must be hyped for the finals. And you know, it's not going to be an easy game for OG, but I think it's going to be close. I think this final is going to be very, very close. You know, these two teams are really good. Yeah, they have a lot of frag power, and basically come down to who makes the most mistakes, pretty much.
Who makes the most mistakes? Who has the energy to continue? I mean, let's look a little bit about the schedule, what we've got in store for them so far, what they have to deal with coming forward. I mean, they're going to have to deal with a lot of stuff. They're going to have to do a lot of CS. And I mean, it's going to go into that BO3 final ultimately. Once again, it's going to come down to that veto and where they're going to be going with it. Obviously, we've spoken about, you know, that Train pick.
Yeah.
Might have been to the detriment of Pixel Hunters. It might have been to the advantage there of Omnius. I mean, they were happy, clearly, to be playing a Train.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, at the moment, I mean, Royalty and Omnius, I mean, they're playing out for these points. Royalty, actually, when we go to the leaderboard, you guys can see that they've been here. They've been consistent in coming to Inkosi, getting the points, getting the wins that they need to, and that's obviously ultimately landed them in that second spot. Whereas with Omnius, you can see they're currently in 7th. So if they get another couple of points, I don't know. I think, unfortunately, I mean, at the moment, they're playing more for that little prize pool that they're going to be able to get. I don't see them getting, unfortunately, into that promotion relegation match. Whereas with Royalty, I mean, they're just looking to boost them up even a little bit more. Obviously, you know, the cash prize is a bonus.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, at the moment, we have to go through, all right, so are they going to be going to, you know, a Mirage again? Are we going to be talking to, you know, a bit of a more Puggy style map? Or are they going to be sticking to those strategic maps we've seen before? I mean, we've obviously had our fair share of looking at a Train and a Vertigo also going into an enormous amounts of overtimes previously. And I mean, teams, they've had the capacity to go that far, and it's been about momentum and things like that. But whereas Royalty, they're just playing a constellation. I mean, they're getting extra points for this, they're getting extra money for this. They're just still continuing, really.
Yeah, I think it would be really nice to see Royalty, you know, with those teams in Mzansi. And they have caused a lot of upsets, you know, against some of those teams that are currently, you know, in Mzansi. So I feel like they would do really, really well, and it would be good. Excited to see X Astros as well, to see how they would compete with those teams. And yeah, like you said, the relegation match is coming up soon, so we'll see who makes it through to the the finals of Mzansi. Will be very exciting.
It will be, and it's confirmed that it is going to be X Astros and Royalty going into that promotion game. I mean, you can see by the points, X Astros, they've been very, very consistent in coming back, and that's obviously why they're sitting at that insane 36, 35 point marker. And Royalty, they've just edged their way forward into that second spot, so they're going to be going through. I mean, for OG, right now, this game, this final, it's not going to land them a spot in that promotion game, but it is going to get them some points, and hopefully this will be a reminder that in the season 2 they need to come back. You know, they need to register, they need to play consistently, get their spot in that Mzansi tournament there. So it's more about just consistently waiting for teams to come and play. This is why they need to attend as many of the weeks as possible. It's ultimately up to the teams to register week by week. And, you know, I mean, you have a little bit of a bonus and a bit of a sort of a little prize pool there to really tempt you to getting that registration going. But ultimately, it's all leading up to that Mzansi game. So I mean, talking about it now, if you're waiting as a team to get the spot, get into the Mzansi final, and you're not registering week after week, getting the points as far as you can, and like X Ash, just getting a massive lead to make sure that you can just chill the last couple of weeks. Why would that be the case?
I'm not too sure why teams haven't signed up, but yeah, a lot of the teams are already in the Mzansi, so maybe the lower teams kind of don't want to take that step, kind of having that mentality that it's a waste. 80K are going to win it, or something like that. That is also always a mental thing to a lot of the lower tier teams, and I feel like they shouldn't think like that. Lower teams should just sign up to every tournament that you can. It's a lot of good experience, and like you said, it's 1,500 rand. You could have one weekly, so why not? And there's no sign-in fee. You don't have to pay a fee to sign in. You don't have to pay a fee to play into the tournament. You just play and you win. If you win, you win $1,500. So yeah, hopefully next time. Yeah, it's an open league. So hopefully I'm really rooting for more teams to sign in. A lot of the tier 2 teams in South Africa, please. It's a lot of good experience, and it's a good opportunity. Yeah.
It's a massive opportunity, and I think that's well said. I'm definitely waiting for Omnius to come back in season 2, because based on their performance tonight, I think they definitely have what it takes to go even further. But while we wait for the teams to go, let's look at the veto and see where we're going to be playing tonight, where they're aiming to go, and ultimately what maps we're going to be seeing pulled out tonight. I mean, I'm ready to see some interesting picks here. So Dusty already out. Going forward with that, and Train, there we go. So not another Train here for OG to run rampant on. Starting off with the Mirage, which is an interesting pick. I mean, that's that map that you've seen time and time again, and it's that quite a puggy map and a puggy style, but you have the capability to continue that. And
that spicy nuke pick. Yep.
So I mean, that's a nice little strategic map that we talk about, but also like you've got some ability there to continue that performance, especially as a side of OG. But Royalty picking it, so I'm sure that they've got their homework set, leaving Inferno as our decider. So let's talk a little bit more. Royalty versus Omnius going up on Mirage. What do you expect?
OG on Mirage, it's a tough one because Mirage is one of those maps that a lot of teams just know how to play. It's kind of like your old school cash. Every team plays it. Every team knows how to play it. Nuke, I'm hoping OG have done their homework on Nuke. Nuke is same as Train. It's so strategic. You kind of need to know what you're doing. As CTs, you have the perfect rotations. You really need to communicate that information correctly so that your teammates can, rotate accordingly and correctly. And yeah, that last map, Inferno, that's again, it's another very puggy map. Every team knows how to play it. It's your common. It's your standard. So yeah, it will be very exciting. Just if OG can secure their map pick, and then maybe if they do lose on Nuke because they're not prepared, hopefully the Inferno is strong and they can maybe take it. So let's see. It's going to be very exciting. I think this final. Yeah.
So I mean, starting off on this Mirage. Omnius, I mean, we've seen what they can do on the CT side. They definitely have that AWP in the hands of Vulcan to really tear into the T side. But on the side of Royalty, I mean, we've seen these players also. I mean, they've just gone absolutely insane in recent days. Yeah. I mean, they've taken on the likes of the big dogs and actually won a couple of matches out because of it. So they have just as much capability as Omnius now. So I think this should absolutely be a duke out. I definitely want to be seeing that third map. I want either side to be just fighting it out teeth and nail, just getting all the CS that they can out of them and really having a fun one this week. But Mirage, CT side, T side, what are you thinking? Where would you lean towards?
Obviously you want to take that CT side. You want to get as many rounds on that CT side and then, get the swap over and play your T. So, yeah, Mirage is your CT favored side. So, yeah, it's always going to be the favorite to a lot of teams. Unless you go T side, then you have a plan. But a lot of the teams do prefer and take that CT side.
Yeah, that CT side might just be a little bit easier to deal with. I mean, at the moment, you just have to keep going, right? So you have to take it as far as you can. And I mean, for the side of Omnius, as we've mentioned, unfortunately for them, they're not going to be able to play for that Mzansi spot for that promotion relegation match. But they should be able to at least just get a couple of points, get that cash bonus for this week, and then hopefully we'll be seeing them coming back in the season 2, registrations and things like that. So Royalty at the moment, I mean, they've been showing some insane performances recently. Unfortunately, as I mentioned in previous weeks, they weren't able to show up really once again. But I mean, they've gone into some insane finals against Conspire and the likes thereof. And it's insane to see because it just shows the progression. I mean, honestly, if you're playing week by week those tournaments, that's opportunity to grow and that's opportunity to experience, really, when it comes down to it. So I mean, that's a source of scrimming, if you can think of it that way, but also just a source of experience for going against different teams at different levels and things like that.
Exactly. It's always nice to play different teams. So, you know, you kind of, when you have a strat and it doesn't work, you can realize what, if this team's more aggressive or, if this team's passive, you kind of, you can see where the kinks are in your strats. And it's really good to just play a diversity of teams because it kind of helps, build your team strategically because you understand the game better as well as a team. You shouldn't just kind of keep to your scrims and keep to your certain teams. You should always venture out and play different teams to, in order to get better.
I mean, that's why we've seen X-Astros grow the way that they have at the pace that they have, right? I mean, it's in addition to, all of the work that they put off screen and off online, those online tournaments and things like that, and the time that they put there. But I also think that this is such a good source of experience, a source of also opportunities to play against different styles. I mean, everyone has their own style of playing a map. Maybe there's a strat that you've never seen before, and you play against this team that you haven't been playing against in the normal platforms and things like that, and that really opens up the CSGO minds, which is what we want. We want people to evolve and to get better. So going into this Royalty, obviously winning that knife round, they're going to be starting off on that CT side. I'm already seeing a kit and some smokes on the side of Royalty, which is great. Making sure that you keep that quick diffuse in check, and hopefully that's going to be a round win for either side. We'll have to wait and see. Omnius also with some utility and absolutely just taking some beautiful tempo towards that B side. You can see Sledge actually, he's going to be a bit of a distraction towards the A. He's got a smoke. He's trying to actually potentially set up what looks like a bit of an A split here. So I mean, you've got players going through lowers, taking some long mid
to up connector to connected towards a sandwich split thing.
And now Royalty, they're going to have to retake whatever is happening now for Omnius. But that is if they can get the site. Leggy, he's going to open up, take down Synapse. Bomb still trying to get down at the moment. EXE as well, just tapping away. But Sledge with the 2K, he opens it up. It's a 3-on-3 situation now. Royalty, as they were getting that advantage, it's falling away. So now they have to climb back all over again. Equal footing in terms of numbers, but Omnius, they've got the site, they've got the post plants, and they're just waiting for it now. Donkey opening it up. Takes it down to a 2v2, but they're still sandwiched. Absorbs is in the position here. He's got his teammate Sledge to back him up. It's all down to Donkey with 9 HP, and it's not going to be happening this time around. So Omnius, I mean, it was a little bit of back and forth there. Royalty, they started off, got the frags.
Yeah, it was really good from Royalty, but just OG playing that perfectly that round, doing that lowers into connector, quick A execute, and playing very good crossfires. They had that one player towards the A ramp and they had the one player towards site, so it was just a constant crossfire, and Royalty couldn't pick off both players, unfortunately.
Unfortunately not, but Omnius, they're going to be able to buy up some Galils and Mac 10s in hand, the utility they want. Royalty, on the other hand, they've got the hand cannons to try and make something beautiful happen, but it might not happen just yet. On paper, there should be a round for Omnius. It should be just swinging exactly the way that we expect it to, but these Deagles, they've done some crazy things in the past. We'll have to wait and see if Royalty have the setups necessary to do something insane just like that. At the moment, just taking some real estate as Omnius. They're getting some good mid control here, opening up their options, and just taking their sweet time, getting into position. EXE,
Hold it is.
He's got the hand cannon in hand, taking the head there of Devs out of the picture. Ultimately, the trays are there from Vulcan, and it's just now getting the frags, getting the openings, and getting the sights.
Oh!
Vulcan's going to open it up single-handedly with the Galil, and that's ultimately the bomb site B for Omnius. Doobie has to rotate around. He's the only man left here for Royalty in a 1v4 with Deagle in hand, but not expecting that flank there from Sledge. So good recovery there for Omnius. I mean, they're taking it slow, which is exactly what you want to do going up against pistols.
You can just see they're showing their respect, you know, towards Royalty, not over peaking, because they know the Deagles are just deadly, unfortunately. So you kind of need to play very passive. And yeah, really good round there by Vulcan, just opening up that B side for his team. Damn, that was a nice little cheeky transfer. And yeah, here they come, taking this mid control. Oh, look at this 5-man stack is.
5-man USP stack in sniping.
Oh, but the smoke. Oh, smoke. Damn it. I wanted to see what happened.
They're not necessarily going to get anything just yet, but maybe if the
smoke's
smoke
gonna
fades
fade,
quick enough.
It's gonna fade. Oh, they're just gonna jump out the window.
OG's going to be throwing most smokes their way, so unfortunately they have to take the aggression.
They get two galleys because of that.
Galley and Mac-10 in hand, so I mean this is a bit of a bonus here for Royalty. They ultimately had a full save here, and after this they're going to be buying up, so whatever they get now is just a bonus really. It's just to help them set up their CT side economy, which we know it's vital.
Yep.
At the moment though, Omnius, they've got the bomb down, they're holding positions, they're holding post blunts. Vulcan once again, he's just looking to pad those bank accounts, get those stats in check, and get some extra frags really. Leggy's only man left alive here for Royalty to try and make something work, but he has to be worried about the sheer hunting coming through here from Omnius. So as we said, that was a USP round, a pure 5-man stack in snipers USP round, so nothing really that they invested. This is going to be their first buy round. Got the AWP in the hands of Leggy. What are we expecting here?
Yeah, so this is obviously Royalty's buy-up round. I think we're going to see some mid-presence. You know, they've been very passive towards that middle right now because they've only had the pistol. So I think it might take some fights towards that mid area, get that control, take it away from OG because they've been taking it beginning of the round. And yeah, I think we might see some more controllers because they have guns now and they have the util for this.
I have an opportunity to get
but they
aggressive.
take a quick
Sledge,
cat.
He's starting it off. He's getting a frag there onto EXE, which is that B side, slightly less defended, but there's an immediate trade coming through for Royalty. So numbers still on check on either side. It's equal footing. They have an opportunity to still take this Royalty, which is especially what they want to do with their first buy round. Omnius now, I mean, they've just lost a player towards that B side. So that B split right now is not looking like the best of opportunities to take. This time they're just rotating back around to A, potentially swapping it out immediately. So they've got some players there towards that mid, holding that presence there. Still a 2-2 split for Royalty. 2 players towards B, 2 to A, holding positions, but absorbs through the smoke. He finds an opening there and takes down God's Not
That
Dead.
was cheeky.
So now
That was very
rotations
cheeky.
That's insanely tricky. In our rotation, they have to go back around to A sites. They have to now figure out, okay, well, is Omnius planning an A, planning a B? What's happening? They've only seen absorbs, even barely, because it was through the smoke. So there's no real information here for Royalty. You can see Doobie, he's trying to get through middle,
Doobie doesn't
trying to get
expect
some
synapse.
control. But there's complete containment here from Omnius. They have all players in check. Leggy, though, at least does find an opening frag onto Vulcan, so that dims down the perspective of going through a retake, making them not so impossible, but they have to get more frags. Donkey going down, Absorb's just fragging out. Complete control of the situation is Omnius. I mean, it was a little bit hesitant there. I mean, they obviously had to figure out where exactly was Royalty sitting.
Yeah.
But that was a great turnaround for them.
Yeah, I feel like the side of Royalty, they just played a little bit clueless there. You know, Doobie rotating off catwalk, but you got to expect someone in towards middle. You know, you got to expect a lurker, and he just runs straight into you know, the player's hands. And that was a very good round by Absorbs, just using the smokes. So cheeky. You got 3 kills,
That's the opening that you need
using
to have.
smokes. I mean, literally.
That's the way you need to get to. I mean, he completely had that entire round under control for Omnius. So they're going to be going through this once again with that momentum that we saw previously. And if it continues, well, let's just hope that that's not the case for Royalty. W once again, he's going to be going down to Sledge. So Omnius, I mean, they've got all the utility, they've got all the rifles in check here. Royalty, they've got that SSG and Deagles in check to try and do something this round. It's a slight investment, trying to do some damage, even potentially turn it into a win. But on paper, there should be another round for Omnius. Utility going through towards that B side, they're making their presence known. These activations should be happening shortly, but they're still waiting.
They're going into a little stack here, is.
No, it's a pistol round, so they're expecting those weird angles. They're waiting for Royalty to make their move. Donkey is at least going to take down Vulcan, but he has to do so much more. And now it's ultimately down to God's Not Dead with that SSG, that scout in hand, against a 1-on-4 setup here from Omnius. The bomb going to be going down shortly. God's Not Dead with the flick takes out Synapse. So that's an option for an upgrade to the AK now, but he's just doing damage at this point. He's going to be able to swap up to that AK, but look at the damage he's done. Absorbs and Devs both down to 10 HP. And Sledge, he's not looking too healthy either. So it's a 1-on-2 situation now. God's Not Dead, he's still looking to hunt this. This is a bonus. This is a slight investment, and if they get this round, this will be absolutely insane. He takes down Absorbs. There's only one more man to find. Where is he, though? That is the question that has to be running through God's Not Dead's mind. He spots him out, but the timing is not there. He doesn't have a kit. He doesn't have the time in the world to just be sitting and waiting here. So unfortunately, he's going to have to rotate around. I mean, it was looking insane there.
Yeah, that scout shot is my gold. That was dirty. That scout shot was so dirty. Yeah, like you said, bonus round. God's Not Dead gets in the free AK off that round, and nearly wins that out just with USPs and the scout is. And yeah.
So that's a bonus for
really
the
good round.
So they don't have to worry about that 5th rifle buy up, and now they're gonna, for all of their troubles, they're gonna get an AK out of it. So that's a bit of extra money and a bit of a buffer there for the CT side economy. However, they still need to get their rounds on the board. Omni is still leading with 5 against 0 of Royalty, and now you can see they're taking some pacing, some tempo change right towards middle, but they're not finding the frags. Just on the edge, Vulcan, he's going to get out alive, but barely. Sledge down to 12 HP. Synapse does eventually go down, trying to fight alone and give his teammates some space to back off at the top of middle there. So it's a trade on either side. Some HP damage done as well on either side. Looking a little bit dangerous, but at least it's an opening frag for Royalty. In terms of holding onto this round, we'll have to wait and see if they can do that. You can see they spread up quite a bit here, 2 towards A at least, so holding that defense. But Omnius, they seem to be a little bit perturbed as to where they want to go. They're still trying to find an opening here. I mean, do they go A, do they go B? They don't know just yet. Absorbs once again towards that ramp position, looking for another sneaky frag maybe, but there's no smoke this time to help him out. And
yeah, Rhodes is
Omnius,
just playing very disciplined. They're not making any mistakes of giving OG, you know, those picks, and you can just see they're looking a little bit lost. They don't know what to do. Do we go A? Do we go B? And yeah, now it looks like they wanting to go towards that A bomb site is.
Yeah, Sledge, he was supposed to be that distraction towards B to try and get the rotations, but now they just have to go into this completely blind. God's Not Dead with that upgraded AK, he's just fragging out. He's having a good time. Yeah, it's all down to Vulcan now, a 1-on-4. Has to find all the frags, but he's instead going to meet God's Not Dead. And ultimately, that upgraded play, that 3K from the previous round leading into another 3K this round, God's Not Dead. I mean, he's sitting on 7 for 4, only on the 7th round. So finally, Royalty get their first round, but they have to do a lot more. Yeah, well, they have the bank account.
Exactly. So basically, Royalty need to really take this round by round, but you know, you can just see that it was a very good round there by them. You know, they take that mid control because Omnius keeps taking it every round, and they take it away from them that round, and they play so disciplined that round, not giving anything to OG to try find those picks and decide where they need to go. They basically went into the bomb site blind, as they didn't have any information as to where they were going and what they were going to head towards. And yeah, just very well played there by Royalty that round.
And Doobie, he's going to continue that well-played essence, really. I mean, he's taking 2 kills away. Leggy's there to help him out. Donkey on the side of B. It's all down to Synapse now to try and do something this round. With the Deagles, he does get a frag there onto Leggy, but it's going to be immediately traded out. So a little bit of bonus there for getting another frag, but it's not going to be enough for a round win. At least, though, with that save, their economy should be relatively
very good for Royalty to build up that bank. But I mean, look at God's Not Dead's economy right now is, you know, that one round with the scouts and just saving that one AK I mean, look at his economy now. He's looking peachy. Man's looking peachy. His
And
bank
he's
account's
continued. He
looking
hasn't
nice.
dropped the AK.
Yeah,
Hasn't
exactly.
had to buy. He's basically building up that CT economy almost by his lonesome. But Omnis here, once again, they're going to opt for the pistol. They're going to opt for quite a quick B-take once again, trying to get something more this time as they make some good real estate. EXE ultimately going down. Donkey's still on side, fighting his way out. He ultimately is good for 3, looking for a 4th as well. But Omnis, they're taking the bomb down. Upgraded to some rifles and leaving it all down to Absorb's shoulders here. 1v2 only with the Tech 9 in hand. His position is known that Molly is going to force him out of position. He has to jump up, has to try and make something happen, but that's not going to happen just yet. Although that was a good little bit of damage and they got the bomb down, so that's economy in check for quite a few rounds.
Yeah, it was a good round there by OG, you know, getting that objective with getting that bomb down and securing themselves some nicer economy. And yeah, but it was well played by the B players on Royalty. Nice little crossfire, and Donkey doing very well to stay alive and getting that 3K. You know, he does his job for the round, and yeah, his teammates clean it up and finish off the round.
That's what they needed to do, but this time around we do see that ALP in the hands of Vulcan going up against the AWP from Leggy. So it might be a bit of an AWP-on-AWP battle just yet, as they're still waiting to get into middle. Royalty just holding the default, waiting for the push here from Omnia. Still, once again, playing quite passive, but they're playing the discipline that they need to at this point. They don't want to be giving Omnius anything for free early on into this round, especially not when they're so close into steamrolling and finally tying it out.
Yeah.
Absorbs, though, once again, playing the smoke tricks, finding an opening frag there onto the A side. W goes down, and not in a position to trade is Royalty. So EXE at least spots a player out there towards middle, so some information is gathered, but it's not going to be enough to make a concrete judgment on where exactly is Omnius heading towards. Smoke's coming through. Bit of a battle there towards middle. Still, it's not coming to fruition just yet for Royalty. There's a good flash there and a good opening frag from God's Not Dead. Leggy and EXE, they're chiming in immediately. So ultimately, Omnius, whatever position that they've managed to create for themselves, is slowly slipping. Vulcan,
how did Vulcan see that? I thought there was a smoke.
Well, the man doesn't worry about smoke. He just needs to hit the shot. So 30 seconds left on the clock now. They have to push the issue. They have to get onto the B side here. They have to take it. But
they're ready for it, is.
They have it on lockdown.
That was
such the information.
Yeah, that was such a good round there by Royalty. You know, they see the little gaps and they push into each gap. You know, they push into A ramp and they kill the one A ramp, and then Catwalk pushes into mid, catches the guy, you know, off guard in connector, and yeah, just such a good round by Royalty, just constantly aggressing that OG had no, you know, way of knowing what they were doing. It was really, really well played there by them, and yeah, that gets them their 4th round, is.
It's getting closer and closer to tying it up there with Omnius, to finally taking that advantage away. But W, he's blind in middle. Leggy is at least there for the trade. But it's still an early advantage on the side of Omnius. As I say that, though, God's Not Dead. He's finding in that opening frag onto Absorb. So finally, they shut down that aggression from him. I mean, time and time again, he's found an opening frag there on ramp. So at least they're starting to shut down those small little leaks in their defenses. Still, though, 4-on-3, a lot of time for Omnius to work with. And potentially, it looks like A site might be a little bit of a better option. God's Not Dead going further with the advantage he's just created. He's got complete ramp control now, so a lot of information in the side of Royalty. They can make some good judgments here. Still holding a 2-on-2 defense at the moment as bomb does get recovered for Omnius. It's looking a little bit confusing now. I mean, if you've just gotten under a minute, you have to make a decision. You can see Sledge, Vulcan, absolutely running towards ramp. Whether or not he's going to be expecting God's Not Dead might be the deterrent for this round. You've got Sledge and Palace. You just need to group up with your teammates, but you have to get this frag. If God Not Dead gets it,
not going to expect it. Yeah.
And now Royalty, they've got the advantage. They've got all the information. They've even got
the bomb.
The bomb.
Yeah. It's going to be
tough. This is not looking good for Omnius. It's a 2-on-4. Synapse and Sledge, basically sandwiched between all the Royalty players. 20 seconds left to not only recover the bomb, but still get side control.
But they double push the guy ramp, which is. I mean, guys,
they still have to get on site. So I mean, with that timing so far, they're making it work. Sledge though, just in behind the smoke, he's gonna get the bomb down. But Leggy, he's just taking the control, but not getting the frag. Somehow, some way, this has turned into a 1v1 situation. Omnius on the cusp of clutching it out. And at the moment, Donkey has no idea where Sledge is heading. He's trying to bait him out there with the tap on the bomb. It's not coming to fruition just yet. Sledge is playing the time. Donkey at least hitting the shot, so they're going to be able to tie out the rounds. But that, I mean, I was sweating for either side.
Yeah, that was a very close one. And I feel like maybe Royalty played a little bit too aggressive. They didn't have to do what they needed, what they did that round. You know, if they just kind of hold the angles and waited for them. And yeah, I feel like the Man City didn't have to push up like that. You know, if you just hold and push the side together, it wouldn't have come down to that 1v1 is. And yeah, that was a close round. That was too close for comfort, is too close for comfort.
I think for either side that was a bit of a sweating moment, but for now we have to continue. Royalty, they've just managed to tie it out. They're looking to do a lot more. Some damage once again in middle, but Sledge this time, he's winning it out. W once again going down early on into the game, so he's not going to be able to do much this round for his teammates. Hopefully they will be able to clutch it out in his stead. Some good fragging here from Omnius. I mean, they're finding frags where they shouldn't be. I'm not sure why, but Royalty, they're letting some numbers slip here. At the moment, Vulcan, he's just keeping all the air players in check, keeping them busy, making the rotation so much slower. And you can see this, he's going to be holding Gaza dead at least for a second. But they still have room into this. It's a 2-on-4 situation. Two players are very heavily tagged on the side of Omnius, but it doesn't matter when Synapse is hitting the shots that he is now. He finally goes down after getting the 3k. God's not dead, tapping away at the players there of Omnius, leaving it down to a 1v2 bomb. Still not down. He still has opportunity now to try and make a move. So he needs to figure out where exactly are the players going through. At the moment, he doesn't have any sort of information as to where exactly they're going. But potentially 30 seconds left on the clock, he might be able to clutch it out.
Nah, I think he's going to save the economies. Just try to save up that economy right now. 2v1 situation, he has no idea where the second is. And yeah, he's in a little bit of a pickle, is being a little bit sandwiched here.
Wasting a bit of time. It's definitely ticking away, and he still has yet to find out where exactly Absorbs is sitting. Has some information to devs, but has to find the frags, otherwise they're going to just sandwich, crossfire, clutch it out. So Omnius, they get their sixth round, and now they're starting to get a bit of momentum here, but they have to continue even further. Royalty, they have the money this round to buy up, to get set up for this, and it seems like towards the end of it, you know, they're starting to figure out, okay, well, you know, Omnius, they try and take some default setups here. They try and get those early frags, and then they decide where they really want to go. And if we shut that down, that might be the end of it. But with the money that they have, they're actually opting for 2 scouts and some pistols. So they're holding on to that bit of an eco buy. Omnius taking the pacing towards the A side. The pistols doing the work that they needed to. Sledge goes down. That's an opener. That's some information now for Royalty, but they need to stay alive. They need to do some more damage here. This is a slight investment. It can pay off greatly if they can get the frags. Ultimately, still looking at a 3v3 bomb towards that A site. It's not just yet been planted because Omnius, they're taking their time. Synapse is hitting the one taps. And now Royalty, they have to get on to the retake. The 2 scouts that we were mentioning still in play, but they have to do all the work here to hold on to this. At this point, I think economy damage might be the #1 objective. Donkey going down, God's not dead with that 19 HP. We've seen what he can do with the scout before, but what can he do in this situation? Position known, Synapse once again finishing it off with a 1-tap, and that's the 7th round for Omnius. So now they're starting to string those rounds together. They're starting to get that momentum. Royalty, as we mentioned, they saved up to try and get a better economy set up for this, you know, get some AWPs in play here, maybe get a bit more utility in check, but they need to press the issue, really. They need to get aggressive. They need to try and get those early frags, or at least make sure that that doesn't happen for Omnius. I mean, they've been so good at getting those early entries, and it's really just been coming down to that numbers game. So looking at this, Omnius once again trying to press the issue into middle, trying to get some control there. Frags going through utility, just pushing those AWPs off the angles, and Synapse ultimately landing a frag and an opening onto the B site. So that's going to cause rotations for Royalty to rotate through and taking focus off of the important areas now. Omnius actually looking to even press this further as they're taking the bomb towards B. So W and EXE, they're here on site to try and stop Omnius. They have to find the frags, the smokes, the utility, making this such a difficult issue now. At least they've got the positioning, but W's not going to be able to land the frags. So Sledge, that's an opener. EXE still on site, trying to hide behind the smoke. Position now known as he takes down Devs. He manages to take down Synapse as well. It's still a 2-1-3 situation here, but Absorbs with this flank. Look at this. He's just completely shutting down Royalty's opportunities here. Once again, it's God's Not Dead. Left in a 1v3. Position not known this time around. He has a better rifle, and he's going to use that to take down Sledge. Has to find the remaining 2 frags. Bullets just raining right past his head. Trying to find the openings. He's making this work. It's only down to Absorbs now. If you can find this can be the clutch. Are you insane? God's Not Dead. They can continue the issue, and now at least they're going to be 1 round closer to tying it out to Omnius once again. I mean, so far this first half has been going absolutely just back and forth, swinging left, right, and center. And I mean, for the side of Royalty, it's definitely not how I'm sure that they wanted it to go, but at least they're starting to catch up. It is Omnius's map pick, and so far they've been seeming relatively dominant on it, but maybe Royalty have an answer for this. Buy-ups on either side with a little bit of a lack there with that Mac 10 in the hands of Sledge, but still the AK is on check and the God's Not Dead. He's not going to be in the picture no more, so they don't have to worry about the thorn in their side this time around. Still 4-on-5, Vulcan finding another frag there onto EXE. They're just opening frags left, right, and center. Ultimately, it's all down to Donkey now in a 1v4. They're losing players and they're not able to respond. So he's going to be able to take down Synapse, but OG know exactly where he is, and that's immediately the frag, the round, and Omnius looking to take such a beautiful advantage going into the second half. Royalty now, with that last buy-up, what was their last-ditch effort, really. So now they don't have much economy to work with. They've got some Deagles, they've got a couple of SMGs and some utility, but it's going up against a full stack of AKs on the side of Omnius. And with the pacing that they've just been taking it, I think they've got all the confidence in the world to continue this. So now looking at it, once again, trying to get early frags, trying to get aggressive. At least Absorbs, he's getting tagged down to 16. But Devs is immediately there to try and help out the situation. Synapse actually finding Donkey through the edge of the smoke. He makes it out alive. So just a bit of damage to worry about now on either side. Both players pretty low. Absorbs and Donkey, I mean, they're not looking too healthy for this, but will they be able to stay alive? Synapse does find eventually that flank from W, so unfortunately for them, that's not going to be that early frag that they need, especially with this buy-up. I mean, they have Deagles and SMGs, and now they're just trying to push to get a frag onto Synapse to get that upgraded AK. But it's still a long way to go. They've got a 2-on-4 situation here for the last round of this half, just potentially looking at that 8-7 half. But for now, they have to find the players out. Vulcan here in middle, he's got some aggressive stance. Sledge as well, just holding every possible flank. He's going to get the sound cue there. Teammates ready in position to get the frags instead. And now EXE, he's all left alone. And potentially a little bit afraid at the outcome here. There's a good flick there onto Sledge, looking for another one. But as he's fighting along, it's giving his teammates all the time in the world to rotate it around and take him out instead. So EXE, he has to get the frags, has to get the opening, but it's unfortunately not going to be the case. Unfortunately for
Sorry,
Royalty,
I'm
they're
back.
not going to be taking... That's all right. Omnius, they've just closed out the first half. 9-6 is our scoreline, and at the moment, I mean, they're
that's
just
a good T side. That's a good T side for Omnius there. A 9-6 half is always good on the T side, and now they swap over to the favorable side is. So yeah, this is going to be a good fight for Royalty to see, you know, if they've done their homework on this map, and yeah, it's going to be a close one, is.
If they can get this pistol round, then they can potentially tie it out. But that's going to be all of the back of this A-take. So 3 players towards Palace, full that waterfall, and that smoke going through. That's going to give all the information out to Omnius to rotate around, because this definitely has to be an A-take, surely, right?
Yep.
Waterfall happening, but they're not expecting the 2 players under balcony, and those 2 players
Oh.
specifically are going to get all the
Oh my
frags.
God,
Vulcan
with the cheeky 2-tap. Damn.
The cheeky 3-tap, actually. He
Well,
finishes off with
cheeky
the 3K.
3-tap,
I mean,
yeah.
the double stack under balcony was exactly what Omnius needed to just stop Royalty's plans dead center.
Yeah. Man, that was a really good round by Omnius Gaming. Is players just hitting their shots. Royalty couldn't even get onto the bomb side. They all died on top of the balcony there.
Yeah, unfortunately, that angle wasn't checked yet, or it might have been checked just a little bit too late. But the frag's definitely in favor of Omnius, and once again, Royalty towards the A side to go, but this time with a bit of a different waterfall. They're taking some pacing. Sledge is just hitting the sprays. He's going to be good for 4 eventually as he takes down Donkey. Bomb does go down for Royalty, so that's a bit of extra cash, but they're not going to be getting this round. These SMGs, I mean, Omnius are just hitting the frags at this stage. They look
that's
so
insane.
crisp.
Looking very crisp, hitting their shots. Each player just hitting the shots that they need to hit, and Sledge farming up the money there that round with that 4K, and he should be able to buy up a rifle this round, but he doesn't. He opts to buy another MP9, and yeah, well, I mean, it's okay. You have 3 players already with their rifles, so yeah, I'm very. I don't know why he opted to buy the MP9 when you know. Royalty are going to buy the AKs this round. It's a very weird buy. Maybe he wants to play close up. Yeah, that's why. Okay. So
playing a little bit aggressive.
This is the reason why he. Yeah. This is the reason why he bought the MP9. Makes sense now. Didn't know why in the beginning, but makes sense. Due to his positioning.
It's a quasi-buy here from Omnius. They're going up against the full AK stack here from Royalty, but Vulcan, he's got the sneaky plays. He's going to take down God's Not Dead, and that's been a huge thorn in Omnius' side. I mean, he's clutched out the 1v3 before, so now he's not going to have the opportunity this time around. Royalty, they're left to wonder where exactly did that frag go? Where did that CT go? Not in a position to trade. They're going to be down on numbers. And they've been able to now give away their positions. Omnius, no, it's a B-side sake. Rotate around, absorbs, hitting the headshots needed. Doing the damage. CT side, though, in terms of health points, they're definitely a little bit touchy at the moment. They need to be careful here, not lose any additional players.
Synapse in a very good position.
EXE, he's insane. He takes out 2. But it's still a 1-on-3 situation here. Leggy, he does have the AK, half HP, and has to recover the bomb. 40 seconds left on the clock, has to find the opening frags, and he's not going to be able to do it. So
yeah, very tough there.
They didn't get the bomb down. They lost players without really getting the trades that they needed to. Money's looking a little bit broken.
Yeah, Omnius is looking a little bit more refined on this map to Royalty at the moment. You know, not expecting Vulcan, you know, that lowest push. You have to expect it, and he gets one, and yeah, he calls out the numbers, he gets the information, and his teammates rotate accordingly. And then Royalty basically execute into a stacked bomb site is.
The stacked bomb site, the CTs know exactly what's happening. Vulcan already getting that early frag. Utility doing the initial bit of chip damage there on the side of Royalty. I mean, they've only got Deagles to work with now, and now they're starting to lose HP without having an opportunity to really respond. So towards, I mean, the real estate that they've got now, you've got God's Not Dead in the middle, but not really an opener into any sort of sight just yet. They have to get a lot more frags for that to happen. Vulcan, he's going to be spotted out. No shots connecting just yet. As I say that, though, Leggy makes me eat my words. He takes out Dev. They just have to find Sledge, and then that could be the A site. Vulcan rotating around to try and help out the situation. Through the flanks, EXE and God's Not Dead. They're just hitting the shots to these Deagles now. It's Vulcan and Synapse to try and hold on to this for Omnius, but at the moment they're slipping away.
My
the
God.
Deagles are doing the work. Royalty, my
just
goodness.
want to buy Deagles and carry on with the game, or what's happening, like, mate?
Yeah, just buy Deagles.
That was the craziest round that we've seen from Royalty. They just straight up run with Deagles and won that round. What? That's insane, man.
It's that situation of, you know, you've got Deagles.
Like I say,
it's not a big investment. It's a YOLO, and whatever you get, that's just an extra hype, right? It's that extra momentum. Well, I just killed an Orpo with a Deagle, so screw that. I'm going to look for more.
You're running, you're just like, I'm going to do it.
So now this time around, it's Omnius' turn to show us what they can do with the pistols. Upgraded, looking for a bit of control here towards the middle. And I do see that Absorbs is just going to be like, no, it's fine. I do not want to beat that AWP just yet. So falling back right away to worry about the issue on hand. Some utility going down on the B side. They're thinking it's going to be a B, but instead, look at this. EXE, he's holding the flank. So now they've got some presence towards B. They've got some presence towards A. Omnius, they have to make the decision. where do we stack? Where do we hold this? Because surely with these pistols, you have to keep numbers advantage in play. So once again, utility going down on that B side, just furthering the issue that Omnius should be believing that this is a B side take. But Royalty, they're taking their time. They're just finding frags.
It's a smart call
to
not go towards that BS.
I mean, you've heard the players now. You've just gotten a frag onto A. Surely they should be rotating around, wasting the time. P250 in hand absorbs does get upgraded to an AK, so that's at least a little bit of something, a little bit of a return on investment this time around. Make that a double. God's not dead. He's not able to find the frag. Absorbs has just managed to get 3. Unfortunately, no more guns will be picked up just yet. Donkey and Leggy looking to hold out for Royalty. This is winnable on either side, but for the side of Royalty, they need to be careful once again. The pistols. I think both teams just need to play with pistols, and then we should have some insane CSGO.
Oh man, that round, man. Just like you said, Royalty just getting the information, but then taking too slow to hit that A bomb site, and by the time they hit the A bomb site, the Omnius players have already rotated towards connector, and they Absorbs gets a 3K, and then Synapse gets 1 from spawn, and oh man, it just goes all down here for Royalty there.
Nothing much that they could do in that situation, so now they've lost out on potentially steamrolling and stringing those rounds together. Omnius, I mean, I did ask them to show us what they can do with the pistols, and they delivered. And now they're looking ever that closer to that match point. 13-7, the scoreline not looking too great for Royalty. This is Omnius's map pick, so I mean, they're delivering exactly what you should be expecting. God's not dead with the movement, though. He takes out Devs, but there's an immediate track by Absorb, so it's still a 4-on-4, with God's not dead down to 2 HP. So Sledge here, he's getting aggressive towards ramp, getting some good information. Might actually be able to surprise Donkey if he tries to push the issue alone. Instead, though, Royalty, they're going to take the chips, take all the eggs in the basket and rotate right around to B, which might be the better decision. Only 2 players towards that side, and one of them is right up into ladder, so that's going to be a slow return. That's going to be a slow defense. God's not dead. He's still in connector here, and surely Omnius, they're still waiting to try and take him out, so they're still focusing heavy on getting that frag. That's going to help Royalty when they execute onto this B bomb side. They have to worry about Cat Absorb rotating through, and Synapse unfortunately just not getting the frags he needed to. Once again, God's not dead. He's still alive. He's still here waiting to get the flank.
And Vulcan doesn't expect him
through. Why should he? Why would he be waiting for God's not
dead?
To
no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, he does.
He's gonna jump away just in time. Sledge trying to do the work here. God's not dead and Dubby, they're both low. I mean, this is absolutely winnable. Single digit HP at the moment. They just need to find. He just needs to find the frags. He needs to find the openings. Whereas Royalty, they need to play absolutely disciplined.
They're playing this perfect. They're so disciplined.
No peeking, just run. Keep
7
HP
keep between the 2 players and they play that run perfectly. Just hiding it out, not giving Sledge any sort of advantage to win that round. And oh my god, that round was looking so good for Royalty, and then it wasn't looking good for Royalty. God's not dead nearly gets that knife as well. Oh man, that cheeky knife. But Vulcan,
it would have been very cheeky.
The CS gods were looking over at Vulcan is.
He literally couldn't have moved at a better time. So he stayed alive for a couple of extra seconds, but ultimately, I mean, that was a round that Royalty somehow managed to return and to convert back. EXE now. I mean, some good tempo towards middle here. They've got some good control right now. Omnius once again relegated to a bit of pistol / AK buy up here, trying to make something work here and trying to potentially turn it into a W. Royalty looking to tie it out, taking some good control here towards connector, trying to find the opening frags, taking quite their time really to just check all the angles, as I'm sure they're aware there's some pistols in play and they don't want to be caught off guard.
Yeah.
Once again.
Not again is.
taking their time, Absorb spotting a player, and God's Not Dead taking the swing. He's not going to get the
loses
frag.
the fight.
So that's a bit of an opportunity here for Omnius. It's still a 3-on-4, however. They still have a lot more to do, a lot more frags to find. Doobie, though, he's opening the B site. Devs at least is still there to get the trade. With Sledge getting a kill there onto EXE, it's down to a 2v2 situation here. The pistols once again doing a lot of damage. Somehow, some way, Devs is staying alive. How is he not dead
Devs is
yet?
doing
They
it.
know
He's
exactly
doing
where
it.
he is. It's all down to Donkey now in a
Picks up
1v2.
he picks
He's
up
getting sandwiched. Needs to be careful right around the corner. OG looking to take him out of the picture.
He's buying so much time, so that Sledge can rotate. Oh no, Dev, how are you still alive?
He eventually does go down, but as you mentioned, he had all the time in the world for his teammates to rotate through. Omnius, they clutch out that 14.
Dev's played that so well. He bought so much time. That Sledge had all the time to rotate. Yeah. Dev stays alive that round and he gets the kills and, buys so much time. Royalty can't flip and put the bomb down because he's still in the bomb site. So that was so well played. He basically bought so much time that Sled had enough time to rotate and come and help him. And man, what a round. Okay.
It's just continuing in Omnius' favor. They've already taken 2 openings. Two frags to the name. God's Not Dead. He's managed to get in such a good position. Not connecting anything just yet. Leaving this all down to Leggy, who apparently his position is quite very well known. So rotating back around. Bomb is dropped towards top middle. I mean, you've got 4 players to deal with. You've only got a Glock to your name. This is not looking good for Royalty. So
I mean,
if Omnius take this, I mean, which
Glock
I
in a dream.
very highly think that they should be taking this, unless
Glock in a
the
dream.
Glock is
Come
just
on,
overpowered.
Glock in a dream.
It will have to be a 1v4 Glock ace. Yeah, no, I'm not going to give it to you there, Sharon. But with that being said, Omnius, they get their 15th. Just this momentum from Omnius, it's insane.
Omnius playing out of their mind. They playing super well right now, and I think each player just stepping up, and hitting their shots and just playing really smart and not giving Royalty any window of opportunity. And it's a very good showing by Omnius. I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely, and they're doing exactly what they need to. So 1 more round. And that's the first map win. Royalty still looking to go into this. They have a full investment towards this ace site. All players here to try and take it. EXE opening it up. Has to find one more. He does spot out Devs. That's beautiful work there.
Beautiful execute.
All the entries to him. So still 5 players alive here for, as I say that though, 4 players alive now for Royalty. It's a 4-on-3. Omnius 1 round away from winning it. Will they be able to retake the situation? 2 players extremely low. I mean, Donkey and EXE, they're right below 20 HP. So this is doable. If they can deal with God's Not Dead, of course. He's been absolutely impactful for Royalty.
Ooh!
Rotations, they're taking the timing. It's beautiful teamwork here on either side. Ultimately all down to Leggy in a 1v2 situation.
Oh no!
He's towards Texas, and he's been
God.
taken out of the picture. Omnius, what are you doing? You're winning rounds. You shouldn't be winning.
What a retake. Okay.
So 16-8 is the scoreline for Omnius. I mean, they just...
Well, now we know why they picked Mirage. They obviously obviously know what they're doing, and damn, those retakes on A and in general, their retakes have been fantastic. CT side, their pistol rounds, their retakes on that map were absolutely insane. I feel like maybe Royalty post plants were a little bit bad, but taking nothing away from Omnius, they played a fantastic game of CS, and that was extremely well played. Well played to every single player on that team. Everyone stepped up.
This is what I'm talking about. I wanted Omnius to do more of this early on, and potentially scheduling, potentially the time wasn't there, but if they could take this against what's currently the second spot for that that promotion match, which is confirmed, that could have been their spot. But never mind that. We still have much more CS to go. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're still watching, please stay with us. We're going to be going to a short break, but after this, you can see as Royalty and Omnius still duking it out for that last win in the grand final of the Inkosi Super Cup. We'll be right with you. Thank you, everyone, for staying with us. We're going into the second map of the grand final of the last Inkosi Super Cup. So far, Omnius Gaming, they've been looking absolutely dominant. I mean, taking the first semi-final 16-1, now going into a 16-8 win over Royalty, who we have been waiting for to come back. And I mean, this is a bit of a weird matchup for me. I honestly thought, we should be seeing a bit more of an even matchup here.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Shaz?
Back and forth. I also thought, that Mirage, both teams know it, and because it's such a common map, I thought it would be closer than that scoreline. But OG just playing phenomenal CS tonight. My goodness. I mean, their retakes were insane. Their pistol rounds were insane. Their shots that they are hitting is just insane. They just played some nutty Counter-Strike right now, and it's so exciting to see. But I hope they've done their homework on this map, because Nuke is not a map that is easy. Kind of need to know what you're doing on this map. So, yeah, very excited to see what happens.
And it's weird because Nuke has now suddenly become, the most popular map in South African CSGO.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been seeing it everywhere so far. And at the moment, I mean, you can see so many different teams. I mean, we're talking about all the top teams in SA and in Africa as well, taking on Nuke, just going absolutely crazy with it. And I mean, it's a weird one for me because it's such a sound-based map. I mean, you can really play the mind games, and sometimes that actually comes to your downfall, even though you've done the homework. I mean, sometimes it just slips away. It's such slight differences in the sounds of different sites that it's so hard to keep up, even if you've played hours and hours of it. And if you don't have that information and you just let that sound slip, through your ears and think, oh, it's an A, when meanwhile it's a B, that's the round given away.
Yeah,
so it's such a weird one.
Yeah, Nuke is really based on rotations and timing. If you can get that perfect timing and that perfect rotation down to the bottom site or the top site, and it's as a CT you could win it easy. You could really make this a really CT sided map, and T side it's really hard. You kind of need to fake a lot, so you want to fake the CTs out, and it's quite a strategic map, and I'm hoping both teams have done their homework. I mean, Royalty must have done their homework. They picked it, and I know they're pretty decent on this map. I think they have beaten DNMK on this map, if I'm not mistaken, and they seem to have quite a strong nuke. So hope OG are prepared for this. But then again, I think they are. They're hitting some crazy shots and playing some crazy CS.
Well, I definitely hope Royalty is prepared for this. Otherwise, we won't be seeing that third map. Obviously, they took that dominating form from their previous semi-final map straight onto Mirage, getting that 16-8, and now looking to do even further damage to Royalty. Never mind that, Royalty have secured that top 2 spot in the promotion game, but surely you want to be winning out the last week of Inkosi. You want to get that cash.
Yeah, you want to guard with the bangers.
Get the last little bit of bragging rights and just taking some momentum through to what will be that promotion game. So for Royalty, this is what I would need to see, because especially if they're going to be going against the bottom 2 of Mzansi, I mean, you're talking about players in their like online kingdom, you're talking about Gentlemen, you're talking about White Rabbit Gaming, I mean, you're talking about the big boys, right? So you need to show us that you have the capability to knock them out of their spots and take theirs instead. So I need to see some insane plays here from Royalty to be convinced that they can take it away into Mzansi.
Definitely is, and here we go, pistol round. Let's see what they do. Do they rush top or they rush in ramp?
I mean, that nade going through to Sweeky.
Just opening that door. Just causing some ruckus.
Getting some rotations, and it's immediate hold here for Omnius. They're just waiting to see if Royalty are going to take any sort of aggression at the moment. Instead, what is the case is that they're actually playing quite carefully and slowly. I mean, you've got 3 players towards ramp, in fact. So it's a ramp stack that they're expecting. And I mean, the bomb might actually be heading towards that. So you've got some utility to help them get into that ramp position there and to potentially help with getting the site. But they need to be careful of getting once up there by those USPs, as we know that long range capability might be coming through here. So some utility going towards outside to try and be a distraction, but they're not going to cause any rotation just yet. Running straight through to that crossfire. No real chance here for Omnius to get anything just yet. Sledged down to a 1v5. has to do it all. He's getting sandwiched. God's not dead. The last little one tap into the issue. And I mean,
Yep. That was a
that's
cheeky
when
little
you
triple
talk
stack
about
there,
that
is.
50-50. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that 50-50. Will they be going
Yeah.
up? I don't know. But if they
Yeah.
do, it's going to happen like this.
Yeah, it was a good little stack by Royalty. Good read as well. You know, sending 3 towards ramp and having that triple crossfire and just Leggy just hitting the shots, man. Sitting in that perfect little angle and Dube, you know, pulling the tension towards him and Leggy just hitting the shots, you know, playing towards that close little right angle and yeah, very well played by Royalty that round. Just reading the situation perfectly. Reading in their
So when you're
favor,
talking
yep.
about it, they've done their homework, and it looks like they've just shown us exactly what they've done. So some great positioning here. You can see God's not dead. He's towards that secret position in the area, looking to be a bit of a surprise here for Omnius. Meanwhile, Synapse, he's getting that opening frag. Devs as well, chiming in with the Deagles, now doing the damage. Donkey, he's swinging left, right, and center to try and stay alive, and he finishes it off with a 3K. So that's great. Now this still leaves it onto a 3v2. In the meanwhile, Synapse going down to Leggy. And it's all down to Vulcan, who's unfortunately, his position is known. SoundQ is giving it away. Royalty holding onto this quite convincingly. Yeah. And I mean, if they continue this, then we might be in good spirits for that third map, but there's still a lot of nerve to be going at the moment. I do see once again pistols coming through here for Omnius.
Yeah, definitely. The economy's not doing good. They're going to save one more and then buy up next. But I'm excited to see what they do on their gun round. But you know, pistol round, there's your kind of your 50-50 rounds, and yeah, we'll see what happens here.
I mean, on paper, there should be another round here for Royalty. Once again, God's Not Dead actually taking some good control there towards Secret, getting aggressive potentially. But these Deagles from Omnius, I mean, we've seen what they can do in the past, and I think Royalty, they just need to be careful of letting slip, you know, those early frags and then suddenly getting overwhelmed with the Deagles.
Yep.
Welcome though. He's going to be going down, so Doobie taking some good control with God's Not Dead as well towards that outside area, so immediately shutting down players and opportunities here for Omnius. Trying to press the issue a little bit too much potentially, but they still got all the players and all the numbers in their favor to continue doing so. Devs eventually does get a kill, but at this point, if it's the numbers game, if it's a 1-for-1 trade the whole time, Omnius are not going to be getting it. All down to Absorbs now in a 1v4. No one to trade off this time, and EXE just holding the perfect angle. As you mentioned, this is a pistol round. I mean, this is not really on paper what we should be waiting for. It's this round specifically that you need to be looking towards. Now, how do Omnius react with their first buy up? What are they going to do?
Yeah, I would do, you know, the cross smokes outside and just try get maybe one down into Secret, just so that the CTs, you know, have to be careful of, you know, that flank potential from, you know, the T's. And obviously, I think Vulcan's obviously going to play on top of Silo, maybe get a pick. Okay, no, he's going to go towards ramp. He's going to see if he can get a pick ramp. But yeah, I think. Okay, he picks door. Okay, I mean.
So that's a great opening frag,
but
it's
he dies.
Immediately traded there by the Molotov. So it's a bit of a risky one.
Yeah, that was a very weird picking. Don't know why he didn't maybe like go outside, try to pick outside or pick ramp. Opted to go door and he gets mollied out, yes.
So Royalty, they don't even have to worry about the fragging really there.
Yeah.
I mean, the Molotov did all the work for them. It's basically like they've got a fifth player. So trade on trade at the moment, Royalty still holding strong on their defense. Only one player towards that A site as two or towards what looks like that secret area, really holding some outside control here. But for Omnius, they still have to find an opening frag onto a site. They need to get some momentum, some real estate to warrant a bomb plant for this round, to warrant potentially a win and get themselves on the scoreboard. I can see Sledge here. Ooh, just to the edge of the smoke. He does find God's Not Dead. So now that looks onto a 3v4 in favor of Omnius for the first time so far in this map. They're looking good to take it, still taking their time. Pushing the issue now, trying to get onto A side. EXE on site here, trying to connect the spray.
Oh, he doesn't
But it's unfortunately not going to be the case. W, though, he does get a trade. It's still down to a 2v3 here. Devs is low.
Oh, 2v2.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Devs is just got to, and then he's dead, you know? Just got to blow in him a little bit. Just
Yeah, just throw a nade in that direction. Hiding and now trying to stay alive. Like he does have the AWP in hand, so potentially might hit an early frag. W though does take out absorbs. But the trade is immediately there for Omnius, and now Leggy down.
Oh,
It's
and
only
he's
Devs
so
left.
low,
This is
Devs.
winnable. Time though might be the issue. So now that Molotov, he can't rotate through. Hut there, he's sticking the defuse. It's down to 5 seconds. Oh, that was to the skin of.
That was
Omnius'
so
teeth.
close. Woo. Good run there,
That might have been
Omnius, nonetheless. But sure, that was cutting it very close. Yes.
I mean, that was a lot of guns dropped as a result, right? I mean, you lost
Yeah.
that AWP relatively early on, so now you're going to be rather relegated to 5 AKs. I mean, which is not really a relegation in any sort. I mean, AKs are fantastic, and Royalty, on the other hand, they're going to have to save it out. They've got the hand cannons, they've got the deagles. They're on the back foot now to try and keep themselves in this. If they can convert this, this might be a shutdown for Omnius, as their economy is not looking too great either. Looking at this now, you can see Royalty stacking towards that A side, not just yet getting aggressive, but on the outside there is some fighting. Sled going down to 13 HP, and they don't know just yet where that deagle shots are coming from. So, rotations coming through. Royalty still having all of their players in check, still looking pretty healthy, but they have to find some opening frags here if they want to be able to convert this. Otherwise, they'll have to wait till the next round. You can see rotating through to Secret, trying to get aggressive and trying to potentially catch some of the players here from Omnius off guard. God's not dead though, going down to 4 HP. How is he still alive? Eventually though, Dubby though takes the frag with Donkey right around the corner.
Pistols is.
Once again, the pistols doing the work, and they're getting the drop on Omnius. Not only that, they've just managed to get control of the bomb. Looking at a 1v4 now, Synapse has to do all the work here. He does take down Donkey, but W is already there for the trade. So that's a beautiful round there from Royalty.
That's such a good round. I mean, what is that? USPs and Deagles is? And they win that out. And for their you know, works on that round, they pick up 3 AKs is. 3 AKs.
So, I mean, that's an expensive round, you know, first
with
Omnius' first buy round.
Or did Leggy buy the AWP? I don't know.
I think that should have been a bought item, as far as I know. I think Omnius only had AKs, but they got their first buy round at the expense of 4 players. Now they've just lost the pistol round to Royalty, relegated to those pistols. Now they have to make everything work. They now once again have to show us what they can do here with the hand cannons. EXE though starting it off, taking out Vulcan. So he's not going to be in an opportunity to clap back just yet, but he's still got 4 teammates that he can depend on potentially with those deagles to try and get an opening frag. Molly's once again doing all the work now for Royalty. Synapse going down, and these pistols are not in an opportunity to trade right now. They're so split up. I mean, you've got a player towards Silo, you've got one towards Hut. You know, Absorb's just watching that squeaky push there, really just sort of playing for picks at this point. But you're going up against rifles, you're going up against a full stack of Royalty players here.
Yeah, it's really tough to play with pistols on a map like this is, and XC peaks. It takes down Devs, expecting them there, and Dube pushing ramp. I like the aggression. I really like the aggression here by Royalty.
I was just about to say, you know, this is what we saw from Omnius. I mean, when they were having such a convincing lead on the CT side, they didn't stop the aggression. If anything, that's when it really started increasing.
Yeah, I really like the aggression. You know, it's like Royalty, they don't see anything and they're not hearing any information and they just start pushing. And I feel like they're catching Omnius off guard. They don't expect, you know, them to be pushing into their hands. And they're playing extremely well right now.
And they're continuing their just absolutely beautiful form at this point. I mean, they're really showing us why Nuke was one of their picks. And it might be looking a lot more competitive now for Omnius. If they don't win this, that's going to be that third map. But as you mentioned, still the first half, only the 7th round, still a lot more CS to continue. And Omnius still have an opportunity here to try and get back into this. They can't afford to lose this round, however. If they do, that's just going to be another opportunity for Royalty to string some rounds together. So looking at this, that AWP towards what seems like outside, just holding the cross into Secret. They're not investing too much into some aggressive outside control. And Omnius just trying to find an opening here. Vulcan looking towards ramp, might be able to find W there. But instead, it looks like they will be opting for some outside smokes going through to that Secret position there. getting set up and ready. They still have yet to find any sort of aggression, any sort of altercation really to Royalty. They have no information as to where the players are sitting, and now under a minute left, they have to try and get a sight.
Yeah, they're
Still
looking
no
a little bit
control.
lost, is Omnius on this map. Not too sure what
means
where
so
to
they have
go,
that,
what to
those fake
do.
of smokes towards outside. EXE though with some air assault really. He takes down Devs. God's not there to get the trade. Synops though does at least get a frag. So that's a bit of an opening, but they still have yet to really get some good control here. Molly's going to push the angle off. Going to give some sort of breathing room really for Omnius to get the bomb down. Still a 3-on-3 situation as Synops takes. Eventually does take down God's Not Dead, but the frags are just not really working out. It's a 2-on-2 now. Time is in favor so far of Royalty. They're getting the frags at the right time. Absorbs left in a 1v2. He's just getting sandwiched.
Yeah.
And I mean, for that, it was looking a little bit clustered on either side. Royalty, they're getting aggressive, getting early frags, but then suddenly getting picked, from angles that they're not expecting.
Yeah, I feel
finishing it off.
Yeah, I feel like Omnius just looking a little bit lost. Players just watching the same angles, as teammates, and they're getting pushed from angles, they're not expecting. And it was a really good retake by Royalty. And Donkey just playing that door position and getting the picks that he needed to. And they won out that round, is really well played.
However, at least now for Omnius, they have the money with that bomb plant, so they will be able to buy up into this round. Another opportunity to try and stop Royalty from stringing some rounds together through the wall. Some damage dealt this time, though. It's more in favor of Omnius actually taking the hit. Synops down to 42 HP. Donkey also down to 57, but still alive. Yeah, relatively an equal battle, but I mean, you don't even see the opponent, so just wasting a little bit of time trying to do some early damage. Vulcan, though, he finally does get a frag there onto Dubby. That's that ramp position now. So that rotation coming through from Leggy with an AWP trying to still hold on to ramp in case Omnius try and take some early control. I mean, that little sidestep to just take him out so
it's
quick.
Cheeky. Very cheeky.
So immediately, no immediate early advantage really that Omnius can hold on to. Still down to a 4v4. They haven't really found any sort of side control either towards ramp or towards A. They still have to try and make a decision here where they want to go. And it looks like the bomb's heading towards ramp. Leggy has repositioned with that AWP, and now he's just waiting to frag out. This is prime position for an AWPer, and he's just holding on to it, trying to get all the frags to his name. It's all down now to Absorbs on that ramp position to try and recover the bomb. He's going to get sandwiched, though. Sledge, he's on outside. He's managed to get some frags, but he's completely alone now. His teammates have gone down. He gets his second there towards the A side, but he has to recover the bomb. So Leggy and EXE holding onto it, waiting for him to come to them. And now Utility wasting the time through the edge of the smoke. Will EXE see him first? He does indeed. Royalty, they take their 7th. And they're just looking a little bit more... I don't know. It just feels like we're watching completely two different teams.
You can definitely see Royalty know this map and they know what they're doing, and you can see that Omnius don't really know what they're doing. They don't really have a plan. It just kind of looks like they're going to a default. One ramp, and then they have 3 towards lobby, and then they basically have 1 outside, and they're just waiting. But Royalty aren't a team that are just going to push and make stupid mistakes. They are going to make calculated pushes, and Omnius just looking really lost on this map, and Royalty you can just see they've done their homework, and Omnius really need to start having a plan, because it looks like Royalty are slowly going to run away with this.
So I mean, this is the clash. This is the Royalty we were expecting, and now we're seeing it on Nuke. But instead, Omnius, they don't look the same that they've looked previously. Though, as we've said time and time again, maybe they should just have deagles, because they do some insane things with them. So they get the bomb down. It's a 3-on-3 situation. Upgraded to some rifles. God's Not Dead. He's just holding W right now. He's happy. He's fragging out, having a good time. All down to Sledge now in a 1v3. Potentially has a bit of a surprising position here, but Leggy with the Tekken 9, he's spamming it away. Royalty, they get that 8th. But Omnius, they have gotten the bomb plant. They have set up their economy. They're going to be able to buy up once again. But now, I mean, your best prospect is an 8-7. And by the way things are going so far, Omnius definitely need to switch something up.
Yeah, I don't know, it just feels like they don't have a plan. They just go into default and then try and get picks. And then it's okay, someone died. Let's gather up and then let's just push here. Where they're not getting that control, that early round control, getting one down secret, causing that havoc. There we go. Send some down secret so that the CTs have to rotate and move their numbers towards outside. Have that lurker towards lobby. This is good.
No,
this is good for them now. Keep
this is great for Omnius. They just need to get past Leggy. If they can, that's an opportunity towards the B site though. Flash not getting him just yet, so Leggy's going to be good for a frag there onto Sledge. Is going to get pushed off of the angle though, but might not have seen the bomb just yet, so rotation's not coming through immediately for Royalty. Instead, they're just holding angles and defending the bomb sites to the best of their capabilities. Donkey, though, he takes out a flanking Vulcan. And in the meantime, while Omnius have gotten some control towards his B side, Absorbs and Devs, the rest of their teammates, they've been taken out of the picture. So we're looking at a 2v5 here, the position known. Royalty, they should be waiting for them. I mean, they don't really have anyone towards A, so they could potentially wrap up towards Vents. At least that was the case a couple of seconds ago. Now Royalty, they've got some good control over either site. All exits covered, and it's all down to Devs in a 1-on-5, trying through the wall to get some damage done. But at this point, Royalty, they're just waiting for him.
Ooh.
He does take out God's Not Dead, so that's a bit of an opener, but as we mentioned, they know exactly where he is. Posting the angles is exactly what Leggy's doing, and
definitely
Royalty, once again, they seem to have an answer for everything that Omnius do. I mean, so far they get control, but then they lose numbers, and then when they look back to it and they're in a position to finally take a site, they're looking at a 2v5.
Exactly. You can just see, Royalty just have a plan, They sent the 3 down towards secret, but then the rotation's already there by Royalty, and Leggy just already posting up with that AWP, and they just seem to have an answer. Whatever Omnius is thrown at them, Royalty have an answer. And it's a tough one, especially on a map like Nuke, It's so strategic dependent, and it's so hard. You can't just pog it out and, W your way through the map. It's very strategic. Ooh.
Sledge, he does get an opener there towards secret, but there's an immediate frag and an immediate trade on the side of Royalty. At the expense of HP, might I add, and now just some awkward fights there towards ladder. Ultimately, Omnius coming out on top. They've got a 3-on-2 situation here. They've got some control towards A. Sledge in the back of Doobie might be taking an early frag. Leaves it down to Leggy now in a 1v3, tapping away with the Tech-9. Somehow gets away with it. But his position's known. Omnius should be holding this post plant. This is an opportunity for them to get their second round, and they really can't let this one slip. They need to hold on to this. So Leggy trying to make a bit of effect there with the sounds. Absorb's not really watching heaven, but his teammate Vulcan should be doing just that. But the flick is there. Okay, never mind. Absorbs doesn't need to be watching heaven. He's got the aim for it.
Yep, he's got that sense, that high sense. Flickerino. Yeah, it was a very good round there, hey, by Omnius. I think Sledge did very well outside. I think he's been doing very well outside in general. He seems to be getting the picks outside alone, and it just seems to be falling apart, in that inside area for Omnius. But yeah, Sledge doing a very good job there that round, flanking outside and getting the outside players.
So I mean, they're taking a little bit of time now to just talk about it, and maybe they're starting to wonder, okay, well, we got that round, but once again, it's such an expensive round to get. You want to be winning out rounds the same way Royalty have, with so many players still alive, which really is helping the economy, and that's starting to become a thorn inside of Omnius. So hopefully they have potentially now a switch around, maybe some pace changing, maybe just a direction change. It does look like the bomb's going towards outside, smoke's going through. Trying to get some early control here, but that Molotov is just going to waste time. Now for Omnius, they have to wait it out, and then they can only think about going down towards secret.
Yeah.
You can see Donkey, he's rotating around, waiting for that push there. Sledge just taking his time in a good position now to at least get some control for Omnius.
This is good. Just leave Sledge where he is, and he'll cause a little bit of hesitation by the CTs, Always wondering about, how many T's went down secret, where could they be?
So a lot of utility now being used here by Omni is trying to flash God's Not Dead off the angle. He's going to spot the shadow though, so he knows exactly where they're at, sprays, and at least manages to take down one, but there's trades on either side. Either way though, Omnius, at least as I say that, Synapse, he's going to get two.
Yeah.
So he's going to get the second at least. So it's still a 3-on-3. Bombs being recovered. They've got some control there towards that bottom B side, obviously in the form of Sledge. Kills though still reigning in favor of Royalty. HP not so much, but they have control of the bomb now.
Doobie's positioning though is.
Yeah, he's got control of the bomb.
And he's seen the bomb and yeah.
But
How did he
I mean, he has 19 HP. He took down Synapse there, who got an early frag. They had the positioning. So now he's going to hear that. Leggy's going to get into great positioning, though. He takes out Sledge. Tries to press the issue a little bit too early, though, and Vulcan instead takes him out. Dubby now has the information, knows exactly where it's planted, but where is Vulcan? So with that timing going through, they're going to be just missing each other. Vulcan's going to get into a good position. W with the flick. Are you insane? Royalty, they get their double digits.
Doobie hitting his shots.
And
young
that's
Doobie
what you need to do.
Hitting the shots.
I mean, I was a bit worried when he suddenly went up ladder, leaving the bomb, but I mean, it was the right decision to do. I mean, ultimately, in terms of your HP, and it worked out towards the end, especially giving Leggy all the time needed to rotate through.
Yeah, I mean, that round was looking really good for Omnius. You know, like I said, sending that one player down secret, you could immediately see how the CTs rotated towards that lower bomb site because, you know, they expect, you know, a lower bomb site hit and they all walk out onto a bomb site, but then they lose the bomb. And yeah, Doobie unfortunately passing all the T's that round, and yeah, such a good round from Royalty just to close that round out there. Got messy though.
Unexpected control.
Yeah, got really messy though.
Early aggression here from the CTs, but now look at this. Vulcan getting an opening frag and continuing to do so on the A site. So that's two players down, two frags in their hands, and now they just need to keep holding on to this. What is happening? Omnius, they're just losing players. Surely they should be waiting for that response from Royalty. Yeah, it's in the smoke. Synapse has to think about rotating.
Oh, not like this.
I mean, we've only just passed the minute marker, and so many frags have happened. Omnius, they've dropped so many players now. They're just looking a little bit lost here on the T side. I mean, they get that opening frag, they get a frag onto the A side, and they're still chilling in mouth. You know,
that's exactly what I was going to say. I love the change of tempo, that fast into mouth, but then they just sat in mouth, and then the T's just shot them from behind, and
but Synapse, he's looking to clutch it out. He takes two. Once again, though, Leggy, he's got the information. Synapse down to 12 HP. It's going to come up to who sees who first, and it's instead going to swing the way of Royalty. And it's as we've been mentioning, you know, Omnius, they get the opening frag, they get the opportunity to go A, and then they hesitate, and they get, or maybe, you know, it's possibly just a couple split seconds, but Royalty, nevertheless, they have the time to respond and instead take some aggression back, take some frags back.
Yeah, like you said, you know, I love the change of tempo, and then all of a sudden they just stopped all in mouth, and they lose a player, and they lose the bomb, and it just all goes downhill for Omnius. I feel like there's so much hesitation in this team right now. They don't know what they're doing right now is.
Don't know how to respond to Royalty, really, but we'll see. Only the first half about to go down. Sledge with that deagle once again. The pistol doing the work. Getting the frags all down to a 2v4 as Gosnodet takes out Vulcan, looks for a second and does exactly that. That's a great opener, but they have to do a lot more. Still a 2-on-3. Gosnodet down to 7 HP. Through the smoke he goes, and he manages to get around. They don't know where he is, but the HP is going to be his detriment, and Omnius, that's great. They get their third round. They can potentially get the fourth, but you're still looking at a CT side with
a very hard
4-11 scoreline.
Yeah, they have a very tough CT side ahead of them, and they won that round out with Tig-9s and Deagles. Again, pistol rounds. I feel like maybe Royalty played a little bit too aggressive there. They didn't need to do that. Maybe getting a little bit too greedy is, you know, because they have that 11-2 round lead and got a little bit greedy. But you see this round, look how they're playing more passive.
Well, they have to. Look at the quasi-buy here coming through. Some Deagles and XMs to work with. EXE, though, once again, getting an opening frag, taking down Absorb, so it's even trades on either side. But still, Omnius, they have the superior firepower. They have the AKs, a full AK set, really, with the exception of that M4. So they've got all the rifles. Royalty have to try and make things work with only pistols and shotguns, really. Rotations going through. God's Not Dead's going to be there to try and catch them out. It's good for one, but they're still pushing the issue towards this B side, trying to get it as early as possible. The exit long range takes out Synapse. Still leaves us down to 2v2, however. Make that a 2v1. Okay, guys, give me some time to say some sentences here.
So 1v1
is the situation. Bomb getting tapped. Sledge to clutch it out here for Omnius. Definitely wants to get that fourth round, and he does exactly that. Great bit of work there. Ultimately, Omnius, as you mentioned, it's an 11-4 scoreline, which is great. They at least got those last two rounds in the bag, but they still have to get every possible one going forward.
Yeah, definitely. I think just them gaining an extra 2 rounds has made it a little bit easier for them to climb, back. And, they are on that city side, and Nuke is known for those crazy comebacks, with crazy scorelines, like your 12-3s and, people coming back from that. And this is it's just time to come back, but it's going to be a hard little struggle. Hard climb is.
A difficult climb indeed. They have to continue this now. So with some facing Royalty, they're looking to take the A side quite quickly. Leggy, he's just flipping around the Glock, taking down
no
2.
time.
And planting the bomb. He's a one-man army. They have to be careful. Those Synapse through the smoke. Unfortunately, doesn't like the frag, leaving us all down to Absorbs, who's good for 2, but not the round that you want to take. Leggy ultimately finishing off with four kills there and planting the bomb. He's a one-man army, really.
Royalty wasting no time. They get into that pistol and they just rush top. They do a full top execute, and that's where some teams they all want to buy armor on pistol round, and that's what happens when you just buy armor on pistol round. You need some players that buy the util. You need at least a molly, especially on nuke. You need to at least have a molly door or molly hat, because that's what happens to you when you don't have any util.
It's exactly that, and unfortunately now, on side of Omnius, they don't have any sort of money to really invest into that utility, so just pistols for them. At least they're upgraded, but once again, they have to make miracles happen here. Utility doing some initial chip damage there, dropped down to 29, feeling the brunt of it all. Dubby eventually taking him out of the picture. It's okay, go to sleep, just wait for this round. Omnius is still in this though. Leggy through the smoke, might get it taken out, but it's not the case. And instead, Royalty, they're just looking good to take this B bomb site. I mean, they've got all 5 players alive. I mean, relatively damaged is Leggy, but he's still looking good to take this. And Royalty, they're looking good to show us a third map. Rotations coming through. Sledge here with the P250, trying to take something out. And the pistol's just not doing the work that you need them to. Devs down to a 1v5.
Yeah.
Literally has to do it all. At this rate, I think Royalty, they're just having some fun. I mean, looking bad.
Yeah.
Going for the
Trying
cheeky
to go
knife.
for the knife.
Dubby. I saw that.
Leggy's just hitting his shots on this map. My goodness. If he's not hitting AWP shots, he's hitting his pistol shots, and then he's hitting his rifle shots. Man's on fire. Man's feeling it right now, and
man needs 5 more kills to get a 30 bomb.
Yeah, man is looking very scary on this map.
I do see the Mag 7 coming out here for Omnius, some pistols as well, so once again, it's a bit of a save. A bit of a force up. I mean, potential here to get some money back with that Mag 7, but that's if they can land the shots. Instead, Royalty, they're taking some great pacing here towards what looks like B, but with those frags coming through, they're looking to take some A control instead, so still towards outside, pressing the issue really, and just wasting some time, making sure they're getting some good map control here. And potentially just flanking around to Omnius. Devs, though, he takes down the bomb. Gets into a better position, but he's immediately getting flushed out.
Gets 2!
Getting rushed from every angle. He's making it work, but how long can he do this? He takes down 3.
He takes down 3.
So, that's insane.
And dodges like 3 mollies as well at the same time.
Once again, it's all Devs just staying alive, and he's giving Omnius an opportunity here. Sledge Finishes it off. I mean,
Excuse me?
how many times have we seen Dev just stay alive when he had no
All the
business
time,
of
yeah.
staying alive?
He gets the one, then there's 2 mollies at him, he gets the second, then a third molly comes in at him, then he gets the third before he dies, and he buys so much time for his teammates to, get into rotational positions, and the Sedge comes up that heaven and he just pops 2 of them as well. That's insane.
Someone needs to just take a full documentary onto devs about how to play around angles and objects, because apparently the man's absolutely a master. So that's at least the 5th round for Omnius. That's some money as well to buy up. Some Galil still in hand, so it's a bit of a buy up here coming through. An opportunity now to claw back at the score gap here that Royalty have set in stone. So far, Utility not going to make it easy for them. They have to fall back and just wait to try and get aggressive here. I mean, some good utility towards Secret Synapse in position. He's got 3 players heading towards them. Blind players, in fact, thanks to Absorb. So he takes all 3. Thank you very much. With that Galil, that's extra money. That's upgradability there in terms of AKs. And now W and Leggy, they have to do it all. Vulcan does go down. Open it towards that ramp. They have bomb in hand. They have to be careful, those Sledge here. Just towards...
Flash of that.
Towards Hull.
Helper, yeah.
And
then they get kills, yeah.
They're peeking it, and now they're rotating back around. They're playing the mind game. The long con going through here for Royalty, potentially looking towards that A site. And now they have to find the openers. So looking at this, Absorbs, he's on A site. You've got 2 players towards that B control area, and actually Devs towards outside. So that's a good bit of information if they choose to go through here. He's going to spot out 1 player. Now they know what's up. They know exactly what Royalty is planning. So looking at this, Absorbs, you should be waiting for that heaven push. 30 seconds left on the clock. They have to get a side control right now. They have to get the bomb down. The Molotov is going to waste some time.
That's
give away positioning. So Omnius, they know exactly where they're heading. At least,
but now they go back down.
Just continue the double
the mind games.
The double flank, triple
double
flank, quadruple flank. I feel like we've gone past all the numbers. Dev's here. He's going to get caught out. So now somehow Royalty have turned this into a 2v2. I don't know what I'm looking at.
This is
not
insane.
looking too great for Royalty. Synapse eventually taking him out of the picture, but W's in a position now to play with post plants. Has to find 2. Absorbs here. Might be the first to spot him. Spotting the shoulder there. W though takes him out. And now Synapse, I mean, if Synapse gets this is the ace clutch, and what an insane round for Omnius to stay into. I don't think even Royalty knew that they were going to end up here. But W, the quadruple, triple, insane flank for Royalty, just working out towards the end there, and now they're 1 round away from getting that match point. But I mean, such a beautiful work and such a beautiful job done there by Synapse, getting 4 kills ultimately, completely by himself. I might mention 400 damage. That's insane.
Yeah.
So this is not looking good.
Good run by Synapse, but even better run by Royalty, playing that so sneaky. Going top, faking top, going lowers, and planting the bomb and winning that round now, man. Mind games. This is what this map's all about, is that mind games of, are we going down? Are we going top? Quick little ramp rush here.
To be fair, I don't think even Royalty knew what they were doing at that stage. They were just reacting to what Omnius was giving them. So they won it out in the end. There's some damage now being dealt there with the pistols, the nades as well. So at least 1 or 2 players, they're quite hurt from that. Potential there to get some frags, but Synapse instead is going to meet 2 crosses here from Royalty that are just going to take him out of the picture. So Galil ultimately getting recovered. That'll be down to 15 HP. This is potentially doable.
3v4.
Make that a 2v4 as Royalty once again make us eat our words.
Yeah.
That Galil doing some damage, and now it has to do all the damage. 1v3 is Sledge. He has to ace clutch it out here to get the 6th round for Omnius and to stop Royalty from getting their match points, and it's not going to be the case. Instead, now Royalty, they're 1 round away from taking us to our 3rd map, which is, of course, Inferno.
Yep.
And I mean, it's a completely different side on either side. I mean, Omnius, they're looking a little bit hesitant. Royalty, they're looking absolutely dominant.
Yeah, you can just see as that each team, have done their work on their map, and you can just see by the score lines that both teams on their map picks are just playing some phenomenal CS. And yeah, Royalty just playing crazy well on Nuke right here.
So some great control here towards outside. Synapse, though, he gets an early frag. He takes down W. At least there's a great response here from Donkey. Looking to get a second. EXE instead is going to take it away, but that's great fragging, and now there's great opportunities. Omnius, they're down 2 players. They have to do something here. They've at least managed to get the bomb in a position, but do they know that it's there? Synapse through the smoke. He finds EXE towards the edge of it, looking for more and just holding on for dear life right now is Omnius. This is it. They have to get this. Otherwise, we're going to third map. Potential for Royalty now to win it out. It's all down to Devs in a 1v3. He's on the B bomb site. He's in no position to stop Royalty from getting a site. I mean, they're going to be able to recover that bomb. They're heading, making sure that every angle is checked on the A site. He's still rotating around through from ramp. And now it's literally a do or die situation. He has to get this 1v3 or that's it. We've seen him do some crazy things before if he can stay alive, but now he has to get the frags as well. That Molly is going to give away his position. Surely Royalty would have heard that, so they know exactly where he is. At least if they didn't, they do now. Smoke coming through at least gives him an opening to get through towards the ramp.
Gives himself a little
railings.
One-way
smoke.
smoke.
The frags, not looking in the positions he should be, but how could he? I mean, he's in a 1v3 situation. That's absolutely insane there from Royalty. I mean, they showed us. They did their homework on Nuke. Nuke is their map.
Like I said,
they picked it.
Yeah, Royalty are very strong on Nuke, and Leggy just going absolutely ham on that map. I mean, he wasn't missing any shot. Like, he hit every shot that came his way, and yeah, he's looking extremely, extremely hot right now. And I think Inferno is going to be a good test to both teams, you know, because it is one of those maps where it's like a poggy map, and if you're hitting your shots, you win in the map. Like, that's Inferno, you know, it's aim duels, and it's a lot of strategic as well play, and yeah, super excited to see this final third map is.
And we're going to have to wait just a little bit longer. We have a short break coming up, but then stay with us because right after that, it's the last map of the last week of the Inkosi Super Cup. We'll be right with you. Welcome back, everyone. This is the last time I'm going to say welcome back because we are on the last map of the grand final so far. Royalty and Omnius decking it out, getting us to our third map. Inferno, of course, Shaz. So looking at it now, where are you thinking? I mean, you were saying so clearly that Omnius were going to take semi-final. That happened. Now you have to give me something here. Is it going to be Royalty? Is it going to be Omnius?
To be honest, I think this map is going to be extremely close. It's really going to come down to which team knows how to play Inferno. You know, Inferno is it is a very poggy map, but it's kind of like a calculated poggy map. You kind of need to know when to take control, especially on that CT. You need to know when to take control and you know, get that right information so that you can rotate your players accordingly. And also on that T side, you need to know how to take the control the right way and you know what you do with that information that you get, and know how to basically bait your opponents to rotate off bomb sites, and that when you execute, you're executing onto a bomb site that's you know, not as strong as the other bomb site that has the least CTs on it. So yeah, this is going to come down to the wire. I think it's going to be a very close game. I honestly think this is going to be extremely close, especially with the way both teams are playing and you know how they're hitting their shots. Is this map's going to come down to those aim duels, and whoever makes the least mistakes, I think, is going to take this one.
We'll have to wait and see what's the case. Yeah. Royalty, as you mentioned, they've already made their spot known really in the top two. They're going to be going through that promotion. Omnius now, they're playing for a bit of a cash bonus here, playing for a little bit of bragging rights, potentially, and at the moment, it's looking like Royalty are just having some fun, really. I mean, based off Nuke, they carry on that momentum. We might be seeing a completely different result to what we initially thought after that first map. Synapse, though, getting the first frag of this map. God's Not Dead already out of the picture, on towards that A site. Now, Royalty, they're a little bit distracted. They're thinking, okay, well, we've got some entries towards A. Are they going to be pushing the issue here? Are they going to be taking some control? Bomb now getting recovered, and now it's the chance for Omnius to make the decision. Going to be throwing utility towards B to try and keep those rotations static, as we mentioned.
It's working.
He's now waiting. They're thinking there's they're going towards B, so they've got two players invested, but instead it's going to be the A side that's going to be under Soldier. Leggy's doing well to take down two, but right in the back of him, Synapse is there to take him out of the picture. Now W and EXE left alone, 2v3, make that only W. So Omnius, they just play that to perfection, right? That was mentality straight from the get-go. They completely contained the CTs there.
Yeah, they play that perfect. You know what I said about that push and pull and keeping CTs rotated towards bomb sites, and that's exactly what they did. You know, they didn't know if it was a B hit or it was an A hit. You know, that B player keeping two of the B players, unfortunately, on that B bomb site. So when they hit A, it was a 2v4 situation that they had to kind of fight their way through. So yeah, good run there by Omnius. Good mind games. I like it.
Great round coming through once again. The pistols in hand. CTs, more specifically Royalty, they've done some crazy things, and whether or not we're going to be seeing the swing coming through just yet, we'll have to maybe just put a break on it. Donkey going down, trying to get aggressive early. Leggy trying to do the exact same thing. Unfortunately, he's alone. Rotations coming through. Leggy, though, does drop Synapse, and he actually might have spotted out the bomb there. So Royalty now, they have at least equal footing in terms of numbers, but still, they only have Deagles to their names to work with here. Omni is trying to take some control towards that A side, specifically Sedge, making quite a ruckus here. Potentially getting the rotations through from Royalty, but they do spot up absorbs at the same time, so it's still holding on to a 2v2 here. Two players towards B, two towards A, trying to do something here with the pistols. Need to peek out together. Get the surprising frags that these pistols have been able to do. Leggy, unfortunately, doesn't get the frag onto Sledge. That was an opportunity there. So, I mean, all the smoke's coming through. Rotations now. Still, Royalty have to figure out where exactly is the bomb. 40 seconds left on the clock.
Yep.
Finally, the bomb is getting invested into that A site. But Royalty, they have two players here for the retake already. Omnius, I think, are just making sure that they're not making the same mistakes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're checking the angles, they're making sure they're not getting caught off guard, and it's such a slow pacing for them, but it's to the detriment of Royalty. I mean, they need those surprising attacks, they need those surprising early frags, and then suddenly Omnius, you know, they try and immediately pull back that advantage, and that's where they get the additional frags. But now for Royalty, instead, Omnius, they're taking their time, they're completely calm.
They're just taking their time. They're just holding their angles that they need to, and Royalty are just basically running into their crosshairs. They're not hesitant, like, you know, they're not taking it lightly. They're just, playing the game that they need to play. They're not being over aggressive. They're just holding their angles, and it's working in their favor, as we can see here. They're not being super aggressive. They're not giving anything away to Royalty, and it's very hard for Royalty because they can't find those, those picks and those opportunities that they need to get. And yeah, I think do they buy this? No, they're going to save one more. So yeah, Royalty going to save one more. Probably just dig it up, maybe a couple of nades, and yeah, I just love the way how Omnius are just playing so disciplined. They know they're on those pistols. They know that they've lost a few rounds to those pistols. So they're playing it super disciplined and not giving anything away.
Absolutely. Continuing it forward now. Once again, just pistols. Bit of utility damage actually to absorbs there. So he's down. Basically half HP than what he started with, but still no frags just yet for Royalty, no early advantages just yet. This time they don't have the Deagles, they've got some P250s in the mix there, so not that completely one-shot potential there across the entire board, but the 2 Deagles that they do have might be able to do some extra damage. After this, though, they should be able to buy up, so I mean, on paper, this is definitely a round Omnia should be taking once again. It's just a case of can Royalty give us a bit of a surprise and potentially get an early conversion. If they do, I'm sure Omnius won't be too happy about it, but they won't be too stressed as their economy is pretty much sorted out at this point. And I mean, keeping these Galils, that's just helping out the economy, really. I mean, you're just trying to save as much as you can. Sledge finding those openers onto the A side does get traded. That crossfire coming through, swinging for Royalty. But with that being the case, Omnius, they have taken the tempo, they've taken the activation to the east side. EXE, he takes down 2. That puts it down to a 2v3 situation here. That's guns that can be recovered. That's an opportunity now for Royalty. As you said, it's that surprising moment here with the pistols that you love to see. So, Vulcan and Devs, only 2 players left alive. Omnius, he's going to be walking straight into the crosshair there of Gods Are Dead. All down to Devs now to try and stay alive. We've seen him do crazy things once again, but can he do it again? Gods Are Dead down to 6 HP, Glock in hand. Only Leggy to deal with now. I don't know once again how he stays alive as long as he does, but
yeah.
Royalty, they clutch
crazy.
it through right to the end. They're going to get an early conversion here, that early first round. Now, that just carries on straight to their buy round. That's extra money.
Yeah,
this
that's
is just
extra
a bonus.
cash dollar. Yeah, that was a bonus. That was their extra bonus round to save, and yeah, their bank accounts are looking very, very nice. And yeah, good win by Royalty that round. I thought that would have been a round for Omnius in the bag, but yeah, EXE just getting that double deal shot, and Gods Not Dead picking off the banana play, and yeah, forcing that into a 1v2 situation for Devs, and unfortunately, you can't close it out.
I mean, of course, he's done some crazy things in the past, but eventually it will falter. Now Sledge, he's going to get a blind frag there onto Donkey, but there's immediate response from Royalty. They take some control back. Exactly what they needed to do. Flashes and smokes in hand, all perfectly placed to get back some of that banana control, get some of that positioning. Vulcan is going to get flashed out by his teammates and at least gets to safety, but damage dealt. I mean, he's down to 4 HP. Sledge is down to 27. And immediately advantage taken back. So Royalty here still holding on to B. Bomb needing to be invested somewhere. Still a minute left on the clock, and it looks like they're going to be pressing the issue towards B. Trying to take some control. EXE jumping through there. Should have spotted out the players. Yeah. He's just waiting. Potentially waiting for that pop flash through from his teammate, but no flashes this time, so they just have to hold onto the crossfire. He has to do everything. Teammates occluded there with the Molotov. The flashes instead coming through from Omnius. They do get through that, however, but it's still a 3-on-3 situation here. Vulcan down to 4 HP, Sledge to 27. So if they do choose to go to B side, which at this point, time's running out. They don't really have much option. They have to get the site control. They still have yet to find the players on site. I mean, they have no information as to where they're sitting.
No, and no more util is
wasting time. I mean, after these smokes go through, CT's open now. Molotov's going through. I mean, they're just getting cornered from every angle, and it's all ultimately down to Devs once again. 1v3. Can he do it? takes
This
down
one.
Leggy. Dubby is quite low, 20 HP. Has to take him out immediately, otherwise that's just time for his teammates to
Oh,
rotate
he
through.
gets Doomy.
And time indeed. Gosner dead, does know exactly where he's planting. But did they see him? I think he
Ooh.
heard him though. No bullets. Has to reload around the corner, around the
So
pillar.
close.
It's so close.
So
Exactly
close.
that. I mean,
Oh,
I need a tally of the amount of times Devs has managed to just
Devs
stay
just
around,
stayed alive, yeah.
play around the pillar. It's just has no business staying alive in these situations he's been put in. But nevertheless, Royalty, they're going to tie it out. Winning, finally early conversions coming through. It was a bit of an expensive round, but they still have the money.
Yeah, I like the aggression by Royalty towards that banana, just not giving any control. I feel like maybe EXE just need a little bit of help from his player towards B. I feel like kind of left him alone, left him kind of in the deep end to fend for himself, If we're not going to help a player with a flashbang or something like that, you kind of need to fight with him. But yeah, just the B player just opting not to help. And okay, super aggressive round here by
Leggy and God's not dead. They've got the crossfire. God's not dead's going to take down 3. Only Sledge left now with a Tech 9. I mean, that's just to perfection.
Yeah.
No guns dropped, no players down. That's beautiful extra bit of money. So going through into this, Omnius now save round, Tech 9s. Nothing really.
There was a nice little base and switch though by Royalty there. Leggy taking that AWP shot and they think, he's just by himself where God's not there, just waiting in the corner, and they try rush the AWP down and God's not there peeks out and he just kills all 3 of them. So yeah, very well played there by Royalty. I like that little bait and switch. Always works nicely.
And especially in a map like Inferno, playing for that last W of the Inkosi Super Cup. So Vulcan starting us off strong, taking down W. I mean, I was just about to mention the double AWP setup here from Royalty, but it's immediately taken away. So that B-side AWP is off of the table, really. So with that control taken now from Omni, as they have opportunities here, they have got options. Do you want to go A? Do you want to go B? Still have to find the players on site, however. Still have to really crack the site open, but at least now Royalty, they're relegated to a 2-2 split here. They have to split their defenses really thinly, and that might be their detriment here. At the moment, Omnius, they've slowed it down. Once again, holding that default, waiting for the response of Royalty, as they have. I mean, Royalty, they've tried time and time again to get that aggression, and here we go. The pop flash comes through. Vulcan, he's going to get flashed off, but he's going to manage to take safe passageway towards that banana position. So he's still in play here. Still 5 players are left for Omnius. Smoke's coming through. It looks like an A-take might be the best option here, if they can find the openers. Donkey, he's going to be under pressure soon as this player is pushing from lane, pushing from balcony. Sledge in particular looking to take him down. Instead, he's going to get tapped away to 14. And the molly's coming through here. Utility still looking strong for Royalty, but they're on to their last couple of pieces. 30 seconds left on the clock.
Look how they're just keeping them there. They're just keeping them there with
to make something happen here. They haven't gotten an opening, and now the B players,
and now they're getting
sandwiched. Free reign to rotate around. Equal frags on either side, but ultimately it seems to be leaning towards Royalties around here. Bomb does go down. Synapse does get a frag there onto God's not dead. Leggy in a 1v1 situation. How has this happened for either side? We don't know just yet. He has to find absorbs here if he wants to keep Royalty in. Otherwise, this is an insane round.
He does. Patience.
He gets the shots.
The
Hold
patience
and post
is
the angle, but I mean that was a little bit confusing for Omnius. I mean, they had the numbers there.
Yeah, that's the thing though, is if you need to try take that bracket control right towards middle so the CTs use their util. You can't have 30 seconds left of the round and the CTs literally have free reign. They have mollies, they have smokes, they have flashes, and all they did was keep Omnius back. And yeah, like you said, it gave the B players time to rotate behind them, and they basically got sandwiched that round. So it was like a panic plant. It was a panic try get into your post plants, and while they're panicking to get into their post plants, they're getting fragged, and just that round, patience won the game there. Leggy just being super patient, and he waits for the peak, and he gets the peak, and he hits his shots, and he wins that round for his team.
Doing everything possible. I mean, that's a great round to win out, because that just shuts down the momentum now from Omnius, right? I mean, they were looking good to take that. They got the opening frags. They shut down the double AWP setup here from Royalty, and then it just doesn't come to fruition towards the end there. So, looking through this, they've got pistols once again, taking some good placing towards B side. EXE is going to be under pressure quite soon, but he takes down 2. Well, actually takes down one doobie there, instead
Takes
gets the
that
third.
four.
Getting that fourth. I mean, you didn't
Gets
even
the
see the man.
ace.
You saw his toes.
Yep. Oh, he got. I
My
thought he got an
goodness.
ace. He only got 4.
No, like I thought
Oh.
EXE got 2, but no. It's
No.
just such quick frags there.
Dude, got 4. Yeah. That
So, I mean, this is
that
looking
B
great
looks
now
very
for
strong. Yeah.
for Royalty. This is looking great. I mean, Omnis, they had the opportunity there. They had the Tech 9s. They were taking some good pacing right in the face of Royalty. Frags just not coming through though. So, with this being said, buy-ups on either side. Once again, it can be an AWP-on-AWP battle.
Yeah.
If you can get into that position. Instead, now, once again, Royalty battling for this B-side control, and they're still fighting it. They're still fighting the issue here. Taking out Devs. Opportunity now lost for Omnius.
Ooh.
Oh, make that a second kill for EXE. Through the smoke, and Omnius then on the wiser, they have no opportunity to trade, and instead they're going to have to push their numbers towards A. They have to immediately try and take some control back. Otherwise, once again, it's going to be a sandwich situation. Royalty's just going to rotate through and overflank them. But now Vulcan heading towards B, trying to get an early frag. You can see W just jumping away. Does spot him out now.
Yeah. I think he's trying to just wait for his teammates.
Through. EXE
There we go, and he does.
Found. Gets the
Flash
kill,
gets
looking
off.
for the ace.
Beautiful.
There we go. There we go. That's the ace for EXE you're waiting
That's
for.
so beautiful. That was such a beautiful round by Royalty. Just that B aggression, taking banana control completely away from Omnius. And then Omnius try to take that B control back, and Doobie just fakes it up for EXE while he plays towards logs. And that perfect, beautiful flash comes through, and EXE peeks with it, and he gets another kill, and he finishes off the round with the beautiful ace. Very well played by Royalty that round. Clinical CS.
Doing exactly what they need to do. Once again, Omnius, they've got beavers in hand, looking to do some crazy things this time. But Royalty, they're just taking control. Vulcan in the flank, though. Takes down God's Not Dead. Actually, they're from second mid. But once again, Royalty, they're creeping towards B. They just want to take some more control. Holding W. Trades going through. I mean, some players lost here. I mean, over-aggression of note, but so far, it's still working out in Royalty's favor. It's all down to Absorb 19 HP. He's going to be able to upgrade to the AK. Does take down W, but he doesn't have bomb in hand. He has to circle back. And already, Royalty, they're flanking through to get the trades instead. Blindly, Donkey takes him down. That was a bit close.
That was a little bit messy, but yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Royalty's just playing crazy well. I think they're just taking so much control away from Omnius that they literally don't know what to do is. They look so lost on this map. Like, I think Royalty are just throwing everything that they have at them, and Omnius just don't know what to do. They're just looking a little bit flaccid right now.
It's just not going the way that it should be. And ultimately, I think for Omnius, you know, it might be a bit of hesitation. It might just be the fact that Royalty are just hitting some nutty shots, but they're slowly slipping. Waiting to see if they can show us a little bit of that Omnius dominance that they've shown previously. I mean, they definitely have the capability, but they just need to get open into a site. They need to take down EXE. That would be the first step, and at least Synapse will be able to do just that. He instead actually takes 2. So equal trades on either side, but at least he's taking some focus away from Royalty towards that B side. So they're going to be rotating through. God's Not Dead, taking some aggression. Actually spotted a player towards second mid. If he waits, he might actually be able to catch another. Dead's instead, just with the timing.
But he heard his
position away there with the sound cue, but he's getting sandwiched. God's Not Dead takes him out eventually and swings so quickly.
Gets a second.
Take out Devs. So
And
ultimately,
Donkey gets a
whatever
third.
Synapse did there, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, God's Not Dead, just reading the situation to perfection. You know, he hears the second mid player, you know, Devs, who drops down onto the stairs position, and he obviously gets the sound cue of the player walking up mid ramp, and he basically kills mid ramp, turns around, kills Devs behind him because he knows he's there, and beautifully played there by God's Not Dead. Just game sense, man. Man had game sense that round.
My goodness gracious. I mean, that's just such a turnaround there for Royalty. And you can see it's coming down to confidence, right? I mean, God's Not Dead, he was sandwiched.
Confidence and just knowing the map
players.
is. You can just see Royalty know how to play this map to perfection. They just know what they're doing, inside and out. It's like Omnius just don't know how to counter their CT side. they're just taking that banana control, and then they're taking apps control, and they just don't know what to do. Is
putting all the work in place now. Royalty, look at this, just holding W. Dudley exactly doing that. Right down towards Banana. Leggy, though, on the A side does go down. Vulcan through the smoke. There we go. That's the clapback we needed. Now that's an opportunity for Omnius. They have opportunities now to either go B or to go A. Royalty potentially now finally getting punished for this over-aggression that they've been taking round and round again, but it's just playing to their confidence now. Rotations coming through. It looks like the A side will be the objective here for Omnius. Getting good control. Now getting towards that lane. Double stack here for God's Not Dead. And Donkey towards A. Holding the angles. Waiting for Omnius. Trying to get a bit close. The boost coming through instead. Surprising God's Not Dead. And now it's all Donkey. It's got that molly. It's going to do a little bit of extra damage.
Ooh,
but it's not going to be enough
to
stop Omnius. And there we go. Beautiful work from Omnius. They finally
needed.
Put Royalty in place, stop the aggression, take a round.
It is, but that's the rule of thumb in CS, right? You just keep doing the same thing until it stops working, and then you change it up. There's no point of changing things up if it's working, you know. And that's what Royalty has done. They keep winning that banana control, so they're going to keep doing it until you stop them. Then they're going to stop, but maybe they stop now.
Well, the double AWP setup coming through once again for Royalty. They've got so much cash that they're actually investing it into the double sniper. But utility coming through for Omnius is going to force them off the issue, so they're not going to be able to hold on to that sort of early control just yet this time. That's great. Omnius now, they have opportunities. They have some breathing room here. They can decide, okay, let's see. How's A looking? How's B looking? Absorbs, solo holding really that banana control there, making sure that Royalty don't once again get early map real estate to their favor. At the moment, I mean, I'm just seeing a default coming through here for Omnius. They're just trying to figure out, okay, well, is A a better decision or B a better decision? They have to get the opening frags. Just barely. Devs does manage to do that. I mean, he was getting tapped at his heels, but now with that, that's an opener. That's an opportunity to go A. At least some rotations being caused here. And it looks like Royalty, they're a little bit perturbed. I mean, they're just jiggling between multiple angles, not really knowing where they should be holding, but W at least is going to put some concrete foundation into this round for Royalty. They take down Falcon. 4-4 is the situation. Dev's down to 50 HP. I mean, it's still relatively on paper in favor of Royalty, especially with the rounds that they have at their advantage. 30 seconds left on the clock. Omnius, they need to make a decision, and A seems to be it. Oh, Donkey, he's very close to Sledge once again. Just waiting for it.
He expects us though, Donkey.
He's waiting for it indeed, and there's Leggy. He's going to hold off the issue. Takes down Devs. Sledge blindly taking down Donkey, but an insane flick there from Leggy. Gets the trade. Makes this possible for Royalty on the retake. Holding and posting the angles. Not going to get that second kill there onto Synapse, but that's opening for his teammates to get into position. I mean, this double AWP setup here just taking all the W's at the moment. Synapse is at least there to take down W, but it's not enough. EXE finishing it off.
Leggy legged him.
I mean, it just looks like confidence for me. Royalty, I mean, they've got AWPs. They're retaking with AWPs.
But it's working. But it's just so calculated, right? On paper, it looks like, you know, Royalty are just Wing, but it's a very calculated W. You know, they're not just Wing in, because, you know, Leggy aggresses because he basically, you know, takes the T's, you know, attention towards Leggy and not EXE, and that's how they won that round. You know, T's were focusing on Leggy, and EXE comes from that N1 position and he gets the kills. So it's calculated W, and it's not like they're just going in. It's kind of calculated, you know. I just want to put that out there. Yeah, it's calculated W. It's
Never mind that though, it's been working out in their favor, so whatever it is that they are doing, so far it's been working. But now Omnius, they've got 4 players alive, they've got the B-bomb site, bomb down, and they've got control. You can see here, 1 player dedicated to holding that A flank. Donkey and Leggy though, they're in CT. I mean, looking at this, looking at the money, I would be saving here.
Yeah, definitely save. Save that AWP, save that info. Next round buy up and can carry on winning rounds. But
Well, potentially
really-
this is the turnaround for Omnius. It's just
yeah, I really like the
it's a
change of
bit-
pace by Omnius this round. You know, expecting that double AWP setup, and yeah, they basically full on rush towards that B site because you know they do expect an AWP and an M4, and they win that battle, and then they Omnius close out this round. So yeah,
So interestingly
very
enough,
good.
I mean that's another round that Omnius have gotten rounds out of it because of that B side falling. And I
Yep.
mean, it's very rare that that B side has been falling. I mean, so far EXE and W, they've just been doing all the work really on that P bomb side. They're getting the multi frags. They're going absolutely insane. So it's great that they're getting that sort of control now, and they're managing to finally stop that aggression. You can see Royalty, they're actually investing 3 players towards this B side now to try and hold on to this. So a lot of Molotovs going through, ultimately EXE going down. W in position here, not really for the trade though, because he's around the wall. He's got a Molotov behind him. God's not dead, is going to take down Synapse, so that's at least a frag for frag potential here. But not the advantage that I think they were wanting, especially with all of that investment going through. So EXE and God's not dead out of the picture. And now Omnius, they've got opportunities here towards the B-bomb side. They've got their presence known. Rotation's not coming through, though, for Royalty. You still got 2 players towards A side.
Yes.
Still down to W here. Swinging out in smoke, taking down
Ooh.
1. Actually taking down 2, technically, with that
Gets
team
helped.
kill. Yeah. So, ultimately, at least 2 to 2 is
2v2,
the
yeah.
situation. W did the work, he did the damage, at least with the numbers. So here, Royalty and Omnius both fighting to get another round, especially for both sides in terms of economy. Quite a vital one. Going through this now. Post plant
Yeah,
towards
smoke's gonna
that
cause
right
some
area.
damage. Yeah.
Molotov's forcing
Ooh.
him off the angle, trying to get
Leggy.
aggressive. Leggy with a no-scope takes him out of the picture. And a
Oh
second?
my
Are you kidding?
God!
Okay, no,
Leggy is
Leggy...
not missing his shots. Whether he needs to scope in the gun or whether he doesn't need to scope
He
in the
doesn't
gun.
need the scope. It's what he's saying. It's fine. You can take this thing. I don't need it. I
That's
just need
insane,
the rifle.
man.
I just need a gun in hand. That is a beautiful
He hits
way
a
to
double
take your double
no-no
digits.
through smokes? What? Man, Leggy is
For-
playing out
for
of
the
his
double
mind
digits.
right now. Yeah, Leggy
Double
is
no-no
actually playing
through
out of
smoke
his mind.
for
yeah.
the double digits.
That's
I
insane,
mean, he was
man.
going crazy the previous map, but now he's
Yeah.
just continuing the same sort of form. Confidence is there. The hype must be there. Royalty, they're in such a relaxed position right now. They know that no matter what happens here, they're in that position. They're in that promotion game. They're just going through the motions now of playing some good
Yeah,
Counter-Strike
bragging
and
rights
Omnius.
is
I
playing
think
for
the
bragging
issue
rights
for
right
Omnius,
now.
it's like playing for that tie, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, great, you get the tie, but there's nothing further than that. You don't get the W, you don't get that promotion spot. So
Exactly, yeah.
surely the motivation is now starting to feel the case, especially when W is just hitting the doubles. Takes down Synapse, looking for the third. Some aggression coming through here. Absorb's trying to stay alive. Doesn't want to give him a third kill here. He can't really get out of position just yet. He has to fight the issue. He does eventually get the trade there onto W. EXE there to do some damage as well. Still, it's a 3-on-4
Smoke's gonna buy some
situation.
time, yeah. Smoke's gonna buy some time.
Switch.
Let the rotate come forward, and yeah, now they still hold on to this banana control. So now the T's still are very wary as to what's happening. Now they want to go up towards middle. They want to take that bracket control and see what happens.
Yeah, towards that
They
A
look very
side.
lost though, OG. I must say.
Yeah,
They
on
always-
Inferno, which
if
is
someone
a
dies, they
weird-
just look very lost. You know, when a teammate goes down, they don't know what to do. It's like they have a plan, and then as soon as that plan just fails, they just crumble. They don't know what to do.
Which is, it's interesting that you pointed out because it's Inferno, right? I mean, this is a map
Yeah.
that it's bread and butter of CS. It's something that you've played many times in your life, but
It's
never mind that. Omnius, they still have an opportunity to get that 10-5 to make that second half doable. God's not dead and Leggy just doing all the damage, shutting it down
Yeah.
immediately. I mean, these players are just getting the shots. They're just going
Yeah.
mental.
They are. Each individual player are just hitting their shots, but they're just playing so well. They're doing that bait and switch all the time, you know. And Omnius just don't expect, you know, a player in that corner like God's not dead. They don't expect him there because you know the teammate is making distraction towards, you know, library. So they don't expect God's not dead, and he just peeks out and he pops all of them, and it's just such good CS by Royalty. Not only like by taking control, just playing off one another and bait and switching. Really good.
And individually, they're going just as crazy. I mean, it's polished right now. Omnius on the CT side. definitely winning this pistol round is what they need to do, especially to claw back at the round gap that Royalty have left them. Royalty instead, though, they're taking some good control here towards B-side. Sledge opens it up, but EXE and Donkey, they're getting the frags. They're completely shutting down any chance Omnius have at this point. It's a 3-on-4 situation. That nade, unfortunately, not hitting quite the marker they would want. Still not getting an early frag, but at this point, Royalty, they just got the post plants. They're fragging away, getting early frags, opening it up, absorbed at least through the wall as well with Synapse, hitting the one-taps. Opportunities here now. Growing positions known, they have to just hit the shots all down to Absorbs. He has kit in hand, 18 HP with the USP, has to hit all the shots crisp and clean, and it won't be the case. So Omnius, they're not going to have an opportunity at that pistol round, but now, I mean, you're looking at Royalty getting that 12th, potentially that 13th. Now it's the question of, well, we have to save, we have to force up here. Do we try and put
they have to save. They have to save. Unfortunately, Omnius don't have a choice. They really have to save this and maybe try get a guns next round and win it out and basically go for that comeback. They really can't be sloppy with their economy right now. Otherwise, they're going to have no choice, no chance, should I say? Not no choice, no chance.
PP Bison in hand of Leggy, so I think they're just having some fun now with these SMGs. Sledge, though, with that USP and Devs doing some damage, takes 2. For the price of 1, really. I mean, they didn't have an opportunity really to look at where these shots were coming through, but Vulcan on the flank, unfortunately, is going to get caught out there. Not expecting God's Not Dead to be holding that angle, but still a 3-on-3 situation here. SMG's not in a recoverable position. PP Bison still in play, which I like to see. It's just a little bit of cheek at the moment here from Royalty.
Yeah.
As they say that, though, they're losing these SMGs bit by bit. God's Not Dead and Absorbs. All left alone for Omnius to try and make something work here.
Good flash.
Nothing to do in this situation. I mean, SMGs, you know, taking the aggression USPs once again, making some beautiful work, but
I mean, that helped them. It did help them with the economy wise. I mean, they all can buy now, which is what they kind of wanted, and then they did need this round in order to buy some weapons, and they did it. So let's see, but they don't have to buy. I guess they want to they want a full buy. They want a full buy with full util. I mean, it's understandable.
They want to string some rounds together, and they need the economy to do that.
Understandable.
So, it's a gamble, but maybe these upgraded pistols will once again do the magic, make the miracles happen here. Sledge hiding behind the smoke, his teammate going down. B-bomb side completely taken over here by Royalty, and now it's just the aggression here from Banana. God's Not Dead once again, holding it out. Only has a knife going for it, but the TK is going to stop him from getting the knife kill, of all things.
That was toxic.
So
toxic
this what we saw now from Omnius. I mean, they chose to save it up, but now they've got full stacks of utility, full rifles, and AWP in the hands of Vulcan, which we've seen him do some crazy things before.
Definitely,
it's getting down to the wire. Royalty 1 round away from match points.
Omnius kind of need to win every round right now. They really need to step it up, and it's really looking tough. Just Royalty just looking solid right now. It's going to be tough.
There's Vulcan with that AWP, gets that early frag there onto Donkey, so that at least stops Royalty from doing anything else, really, as through the smoke. Vulcan just spamming it away, getting the frags we've seen him do before, so this is great work now. They've got opportunities here to hold on to this round, and as we said, they have to win everything. No space for mistakes this time around. EXE, he's got a Mac 10 in hand, so only player really on the side of Royalty that's looking a little bit worse for wear in terms of firepower, but opportunities are still here. It's still a lot of time left. That utility, though, is going to give the positioning away. So Omnius, they know exactly where Royalty is heading towards. Minute left. Investment made here from Royalty. Synapse trying to get aggressive here. Unfortunately, not going to land him a frag, but the nade is there from Absorb. So damage dealt. They have the numbers still. 2-on-4 is the situation. And Dubby here trying to figure out where exactly is Absorb sitting. Tries to force the angle. It's not going to get it, though. Jumping shots not going to be landing this time around. And now it's all down to Leggy. Takes down Absorbs, opens up, tries to swing for the second. But he's getting quickly sandwiched. Devs around the corner. Oh, but he expects this Leggy. What are you doing? Just has to be careful of Vulcan. At least Vulcan is there to shut this down because I was starting to sweat.
Yeah,
now
I was
for
starting to
Omnius.
believe. I was like, Leggy hits the shots, I believe. I believe in Leggy.
I mean, out of anyone that you'd want to have left, you definitely want to have Leggy, the last player alive.
Yeah, he's been playing crazy CS tonight, and yeah, he's been very scary as.
Very scary indeed. So, I mean, a buy-up here coming through for Royalty, Mac 10 in hand of Dubby, so not the full buy-up that they'd want, but they've got the rounds to play around with. They could force the issue, and if they do win this, this will be devastating for Omnius. 1 round away from match point. Royalty, they have the tempo at this point. They've got some hype. Can they hit the shots, though? Vulcan through the wall instead is going to be hitting all the shots they need to have, and now this is a bit of a switch around here for Omnius. Now they're the ones taking B control. Yeah. They're getting the early frags. They're getting aggressive. Royalty left with only 2 players to hold on to this round. At least both have AKs. But they have no control and no information. They've got some towards B, but obviously Omnius falling back towards that passive hold on B. Making sure that they keep their numbers in check. Ooh. Dubby getting an opening frag there onto Sledge, sorry. I keep saying Sludge.
Sludge. Sledge.
It's the U's, it's the E's, it's all the letters now, but will everything be working out for Omnius here? Devs on site.
Split the 2 players. Oh, the one commits and the one doesn't commit. Awkward.
Timing not there.
Oh, he goes through CT! That's sneaky!
He gets an opening frag there onto Synapse and now Absorbs, left to wonder where is everything happening. Does get the trade, but 6th round here for Omnius. As you mentioned, they have to win everything, right? If they want to be able to tie it up, they have to get to that 14 marker. So at this stage, it's just about winning the next 8 rounds in a row and then continuing from that.
Yeah, they really do need to build up those rounds, and they're doing it at the moment because now, economy on the side of Royalty not looking so fantastic. So they're going to have to Glock and some Deagles, and that's about it. One Tech 9 and a Glock, and 1 Deagle.
Pistol round coming through here for Royalty. Vulcan once again, he's just going ham with his AWP. Yeah. But the pistols, especially the Glock on God's Not Dead, actually taking some lives yet, getting some frags. Dev's still outside though. There's 3 stack here, working out for Omnius at least. So with that, they still have a leg up into this round. Still looking for that 7th. Leggy and God's Not Dead quite low on HP. The flank coming through from Synapse not working out. What is happening? The pistol's actually doing some damage now. We're looking at a 2v2 situation here. Royalty, this is just a bonus for them. Whatever money they get now is just going to help them for that buy round, but they didn't go into this thinking that they were going to get a win. Surely, on paper, this should definitely be around for Omnius.
Definitely should have just been around for Omnius.
Bomb is dropped in Omnius's position. They've got a crossfire right on top of it. Do they expect Leggy here from CT? Surely they should start wondering, okay, where's the 2nd player? They have no information.
They don't.
Leggy, he's going to spot out Absorbs, not hitting the shots.
No, Leggy.
Oh my goodness.
Out of all the shots you had to hit tonight, that was the shot. That was the shot you had to hit, Leggy.
That was that match point shot, but
man,
as you mentioned, that was a bonus, right? That was pistol round.
It was. I mean, what was that? A Tech 9, a Deagle, and 3 Glocks, and they brought that down to a 2v3 situation. I mean, 2v2, yeah. So, yeah, good run.
Potential there, but either way, now Royalty, they're going to be able to buy up. Once again, this is a force up, so if they lose this, that's a bit of a reset there, and another opportunity for Omnius to string some rounds together. Closing up that gap, but look at this, they've got such good control here towards the A side, towards Archers, they're wrapping around, putting some pressure, but it's going to be a complete one-sided affair. Absorbs, he takes down 2, Donkey and EXE at least get the trades. Will be able to get the bomb down, and now it's a 3-on-3 situation. Omnius, they have to retake this, otherwise it's match point for Royalty. Yeah. But either side, economy-wise, they're looking a little bit stressed.
Yeah, smokes are keeping them out there.
Keeping them out of position now.
It's just buying so much time, that smoke towards
Molotov as well. I mean, Omnius, they're just getting tapped away at this point. Devs, though, does open it up, has an opportunity to go and stick the defuse. EXE and God's Not Dead holding on to this, actually managing to get the frags.
Take it out, put it out.
Okay.
Yeah, that util just stopped them for so long, unfortunately, in library. I mean, Vulcan had that up towards that library position, but he literally just stood there. you got smoked out, and then you got smoked out, and then he just carried on standing, waiting for this util to go away, and yeah, it wasn't happening, and yeah, Royalty just had such a good crossfire in that ditch position, so.
I mean,
one
this
for
is a last-ditch
Omnius.
effort now for Omnius. They've got SMGs and pistols to try and stop Royalty from winning it out. I mean, that was a full investment now for them the previous round. Losing that is heartbreaking. Can they do this with the SMGs? We'll have to wait and see. No deals in hand this time, so no quandies that we should be losing our minds over, but potential here. Omnius definitely looking for a win. I mean, always have to play this out no matter what the costs are, no matter what you're playing for. At this stage, Royalty just taking some control. Absorb's trying to press the issue, trying to get aggressive. Does some great damage to Leggy, but it's not going to land a frag because he's got his teammate working together with him. Vulcan does take down God's Not Dead, but he's getting hunted quite quickly.
Sledge.
At least Sledge is there to get the trays. So
Yeah.
far, the SMG is working out for Omnius. 4-on-3 situation. Going towards that ace site. You can see just holding the angles, but EXE, he's clearing all of them. So now, and it's just about time now. 3-on-3 situation. Omnius, they definitely want to be taking
Royalty
this.
have a very good crossfire here and very good post plants is. Ooh!
But Vulcan, he gets the opening frag there onto EXE. At least Dubby's there to respond. It's only pistols, only the AK now left in the hands of Sledge.
There we go, Leggy
Leggy
hitting his shots.
just continue playing out in form till the end. I mean, that's beautiful work there from Royalty coming back off, especially after the first round. I mean, after the first map, sorry, we really didn't see the Royalty that we were expecting. I mean, we were waiting for some knuckle, I mean, hand to hand, really just fighting it out to the bitter end. And then Omnius, they took a really convincing first map, and then somehow, someway, Royalty.
I did call it
I don't know if it was a prep.
I did say that, you know, Omnius had to win their map and nuke, you know, in order to have a shot at this, you know, but you know, not winning that nuke, you know, it's just, I knew Royalty had nuke in the bag because, you know, they have all that experience playing against those top teams on that map, so their homework on that map is just phenomenal. You could just see, and you know, yeah, Omnius had to kind of win Mirage and kind of win that nuke. Otherwise, yeah, I knew Royalty were going to take this, you know. Yeah, with those last two maps being Nuke and Inferno, I knew Royalty had this in the bag, unfortunately. So, yeah.
So, I mean, with that being said, you know, Royalty, let's look at the leaderboard to just remind us what these teams have been playing towards. Finally, we get to the end of it. The Inkosi Super Cup comes to a close, and now X-Axis and Royalty, obviously, congrats to them. They're going to be getting a chance into that promotion match to be able to get up into the big leagues, which is, of course, Mzansi. That's a combined prize pool of 1 million rand, which is definitely where you want to be. You're going to be playing against the big dogs, an opportunity to really showcase what you have, you know, going for yourself, what you've been working on, your craft that you've been working on for so long. So this is great news for Royalty. Definitely, as we mentioned, just going home with that last week prize of, you know, extra 1K in the pocket, finishing it off strong. And I mean, it's beautiful to see. I mean, I mentioned it previously after that first map. Royalty really needed to show us what they have going for themselves, what they've been working on, to be able to show us that they have the capability of taking one of the players, or one of the teams, out of Mzansi.
Yeah, well, I mean, definitely, you know, last week we didn't get to see the Royalty that we love and know, and unfortunately they had to play with 4 players. They didn't have a fifth, and they lost out to Digital Anarchy, and it was good for them to come back this week and obviously show us, you know, why they're in that second place position. And yeah, I think the relegation matches are going to be really awesome to watch. I'm excited to see, you know, X-Axis and Royalty, to see if they can maybe knock one of those big teams out of the way and get their spot into the Mzansi.
I mean, that will definitely be a crazy thing to think, especially after all the work that they've done, coming back week after week after week and getting the points, getting the W's, and making the groundwork really to be able to get that spot. So I think it's just going to make that moment even sweeter. And I'm honestly going to be interested to see when it's going to happen. So for those of you who are just as interested to see when it's going to happen, that relegation promotion match is going to be happening on the 17th and 18th of October. So definitely stick with the socials of Nodwin Gaming Africa to see when that's going to be happening. and ultimately who they're going to be going down against, because we've got Umzansi finishing off this week. So the bottom two of Umzansi are going to be decided this weekend, and that's going to be a crazy match. Who are Royalty and X-Astros going to be going up against? That's going to be the decision that's going to be made this week. So I definitely think that for those of you watching now, tune in on the 17th and 18th of October to see who's going to be ultimately going through to Mzansi. And I mean, Shaz, it was a great game. And
very good CS tonight.
Really
excited
really Royalty deserved it.
Yeah, Royalty definitely deserved their spot there. But yeah, very well played by both teams. Omnius Gaming, obviously, guys, keep grinding. There's some really good potential in that team alone as well. And yeah, Royalty, yeah. I hope you guys actually make your way to Mzansi, because I'm excited to see how they do as well. Yep.
Same with me. And for those of you watching, thank you so much for staying with us. We can't wait to see what happens. But for those of you of the teams that didn't really make it through, absolutely look towards season 2. That's going to start on the 26th of October. So register, come back week after week, get those points.
Come get the points.
Especially Omnius. After what we've seen today, you have to come back. We need you guys in season 2.
We need more teams, not just Omnius. Everyone, come on, sign up. Season 2. Inkosi, let's go.
Yeah, message your friends, get them to sign up. But thank you so much for those of you watching. Thank you, Shaz, for co-casting with me.
Always.
And ultimately, that's going to be it for us. That's going to be it for Inkosi Super Cup Season 1. We'll see you guys next time. Cheers.
Bye.